This is 5 Live Sport with Kelly Cates.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Hello and welcome to 5 Live Sport. Tonight is going to be a busy one. It's the second round of the EFL Cup. It means there are plenty of games this evening. We're at loads of them. At 7:45 we've got commentary of Plymouth against Crystal Palace. On Sports Extra you can listen to Fulham. They take on Tottenham. That one's also a 7:45 kickoff. And we'll keep you across all the goals as they go in between now and 10:30. Not only that, we'll be in New York to get the latest from day 2 of the US Open, where there are 6 Brits in action, and we'll chat golf as the US Ryder Cup team's been announced today. We'll hear from Captain Zach Johnson very shortly. And remember, if you want to get in touch, you can text us on 85058 or at 5 Live Sport on social media. So, loads to get through between now and 7:45. Let's head to our base at Home Park first of all, where Championship side Plymouth take on the Premier League's Crystal Palace. Our commentary team this evening: former Southampton fullback Francis Benali and our commentator Alistair Bruce Ball. Good evening to both of you.
Hi,
How's
Kelly.
it all looking, Ali?
Well, do you know what, Kelly? I was just about to say I'm going to send you an audio postcard saying wish you were here, because it looks absolutely glorious. I've not been to Home Park for many, many years. It's a lovely late August evening, mild evening on the South Devon coast, and it feels like a proper footballing occasion this evening as well. So sometimes, you know, stadiums can be a bit deserted and a bit flat for the second round of the League Cup, but Plymouth are a club on the rise. They're playing some fantastic football under Stephen Schumacher, and the fans are excited about it. John Akers, our producer, tonight was telling me, he's a local down here, that hundreds of people still queuing to try and get the tickets for tonight's game. So that is absolutely fantastic. If you look at the game itself, Kelly, in the two teams, well, it's actually the Championship team, Plymouth, that have made more changes than Crystal Palace. So Plymouth have made 9 changes, and Roy Hodgson has made 7 changes for Palace. The only 2 who remain for Plymouth from the weekend defeat away to Birmingham: centre-back Dan Scarr and left-back Kane Kessler-Hayden, who's on loan from Aston Villa. And Roy Hodgson sort of kept a bit of a spine to his Crystal Palace team. So Sam Johnston remains from the weekend, the 1-1 draw at Brentford. Tyreek Mitchell in the back 4, Jefferson Lerma in midfield, and Odsonne Edouard up front. Otherwise 7 changes for Crystal Palace, but I think this could be a really good game.
And that's why you're there. That's why we're bringing it to you on 5 Live Sport tonight. But Franny, when we look at the teams and the number of changes that Plymouth have made, do you think that's a reaction to those back-to-back defeats by Southampton and Birmingham?
Well, we've seen the manager Stephen Schumacher say already himself, Kelly, that he doesn't want to see his team playing well but coming away with nothing. Clearly there was going to be changes tonight here for the cup match, but any side coming here, we've seen how they absolutely dominated their League One campaign, how Home Park was a really difficult place to come and play for sides, and this is a cup match. We've seen it. If Crystal Palace don't come here tonight, and I'm not for 1 minute saying they will, but if they come here and they're off their game for any reason, or they're not completely focused, there could well be a chance here for Plymouth Argyle this evening.
And Ali, as you said, not too many changes for Crystal Palace, but compared to other Premier League sides, do they have the opportunity to do that quite as much?
Well, that's what I think, Kelly, and obviously there's 8 Premier League teams that aren't even involved at this stage of the competition, but we've got to be realistic, and you look at Crystal Palace's squad and you look at potentially some of the other Premier League squads involved this evening. Clubs like Manchester City and Arsenal and Liverpool and Newcastle and Manchester United almost have a B team that could effectively be the A team. Now Crystal Palace aren't quite like that. I mean, there are some very familiar names in this Crystal Palace starting lineup, but we are going to see some players that haven't played that much football for the club. Jesron Raksaki, who was on loan at Charlton last season, had a great season with them in League One and scored 15 goals. He gets a chance tonight. The young Frenchman Nauru Ahamada signed back in January. He's in the team. Chris Richards, the American international, struggled desperately with injury last season. He's in the team as well. But the very fact that they've not played too much football for Crystal Palace, and this is quite an unfamiliar lineup, like Franny says, definitely gives Plymouth a chance. I just want to give Franny a massive pat on the back as well, Kelly. Train trouble on the way down. He's literally sat down about 30 seconds before you asked him that first question. I was desperately trying to get in touch with Vicky, the producer, to say Franny is here. So on WhatsApp, I typed Franny's here but didn't spell check it, and it said Granny's here.
it's one of the same thing, I think, Ali.
You're sounding in fine form, Granny. Good to hear from you both. We will be back at home park before kick-off at 7:45, and it's time now for Franny to go and get himself a cup of tea, get settled ahead of commentary there at 7:45. Don't forget, there is a choice of listening tonight on BBC Sounds and 5 Sports Extra. Commentary of Fulham against Tottenham on Sports Extra, and our feature game on 5 Live is at home park. Plymouth preparing to take on Crystal Palace. Our commentary team there are former Southampton fullback Francis Benali and Alistair Bruce Ball. Ali, let's do a quick recap of the team news.
Yeah, atmosphere ramping up very nicely here at home park. I can see all the kids holding the giant green and white flags either side of the field, waving them furiously from side to side. Sprinklers spraying on the pitch as well. Loads of changes made by both managers, actually 9 changes for Plymouth. I wonder whether the home fans might be ever so slightly disappointed. Obviously staying in the Championship is the be all and end all this season, but whether that slightly lessens the chances of the cup upset and beating Crystal Palace this evening by making so many changes. Similar team to the one that actually beat Leyton Orient in the first round of this competition, but there are 7 changes for Crystal Palace. Jefferson Lerma starts, Odsonne Edouard starts, Sam Johnston still in goal, but 7 changes in that Crystal Palace team. They won't have played together as a starting 11 very often, so maybe that might just give Plymouth a little edge.
It might give Plymouth a little bit of an edge, and they'll be looking for every edge they can get against a Crystal Palace side that are so well drilled, well coached under Roy Hodgson. So, Franny, how did Plymouth start to try and break down Palace?
I think that we saw, I was watching the highlight play of when they played Southampton here recently, and you could say sort of with Plymouth coming up from League One and Southampton being relegated, a newly relegated side from the Premier League, they did very well against Southampton here. The side, the supporters get behind them. Steve Schumacher's got, some good work he's doing with him. He's brought some good loan players coming in. There's some new signings as well that they've spent money on that will hopefully make a difference to them as well. And sort of with Whittaker and Ryan Hardy and Ballymumba as a bit of a strike force, they were sort of looking good in the league games. I know there's going to be changes in this lineup, but it's one of those competitions, as Ali's just said. They'll naturally want to do well in it, but very much the priority would be the Championship for sure.
Slightly selfishly, Kelly, from our point of view, I was actually really looking forward to watching that Plymouth front three. So Ballymumba and Morgan Whittaker, both on loan last season, both back here again at the club this season. The goal Ballymumba scored against Huddersfield on the opening weekend of the season was a bit like the Kaoru Matoma goal earlier in the season against, was it Wolves? His goal, basically a pick up from the halfway line, slalom your entire way through the defence and stick it in the back of the net. So they may well feature later on in the evening. Bit of a shame that some of those names aren't starting.
We've already got our first goal of the evening at Swansea. Aaron Paul.
Grimes has put Swansea ahead from the penalty spot. A corner that bobbled away was volleyed back into the area, caught the hand of a Bournemouth defender. Up stepped Grimes to fire past Andre Radu in the Cherries goal. Swansea 1, Bournemouth 0.
Aaron, thank you very much. Of course, we're across all the goals as they go in this evening. We've got reporters at 10 games, including our 2 commentary matches this evening. Ali, just one other bit of news in relation to the game tonight. It's being reported that Dean Henderson will have a medical over the weekend after Man United agreed a deal with Palace for him. Does that seem like a good fit?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. He's clearly someone who wants first-team Premier League football. He's shown what he can do in the Premier League with Sheffield United, first of all, and Nottingham Forest. Had his chance at Manchester United, has been there, enough years to try and get into the first team. It was... trying to think which season, 2020-21 under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, where he really got a proper run in the first team, but obviously David De Gea has been there for all that period. So fresh start for him. Sam Johnston's the regular keeper at Crystal Palace. He's going to have to try and displace him. He's another former Manchester United goalkeeper from back in the day, of course. So yeah, just a good strengthening of the squad for Crystal Palace. They've got a good keeper there.
So Roy Hodgson busy working things out in the transfer market, also trying to focus on the game this evening against Plymouth. Franny, he's been saying this week, Roy Hodgson, this is a balancing act for Crystal Palace. They don't want to send a full reserve team down there and get beaten by what he says himself is a very good Plymouth side. But if they're going to get a result, they have to play a good team. Is that something that Plymouth could exploit if maybe the Palace players just aren't quite focused 100%?
Most definitely, Kelly. Yeah, we've heard the changes that Ali's mentioned for both lineups. You know, Plymouth Argyle and the players that they'll be missing, it will be a bit of a shame, but I would fully expect to see them come up at some stage. You know, they're leading scorers, but from Crystal Palace's point of view, yeah, most definitely they've got to come down here. They've got to start right. Sometimes in a game of football, we find it so difficult if you don't almost go through the gears and sort of like start properly. It's so much harder to then try and shift that momentum of the game back in your favour if you're not right on it from the beginning. So yeah, this can be a very difficult place to come and play for sides. So I'm fascinated to see how they will start off, given, as you said, Kelly, that Roy Hodgson has said himself, this is a difficult place to come, and the players that he's going to pick tonight have almost got to earn that place in the side. They're not going to be just given it.
And it's sounding fantastic, Ali. There's going to be a huge reception. I'm sort of trusting you to keep an eye on when the players are going to come out, and we can hand over to you properly. But I think we'll be able to tell.
Yeah, no, you will be able to tell. John Akers, who's the local man who's sitting alongside me, has also reminded me that there's a song that will start up sometime soon, Kelly, that I think we'll recognise as well. The Janna song, I believe. So a Plymouth resident is known as a Janna. So we'll get a bit of that as well. Kelly, it's just brilliant for a night like tonight to see the stadium full, to feel this atmosphere. And in terms of the sort of colourful Tifo big banner, there's an enormous Argyle banner making its way down the opposite side of the stadium to us. We are Argyle, it reads, with the Mayflower crest from the club's badge emblazoned right at the top of it. And as you can probably tell, the teams are on their way out at Home Park.
As predicted, we could hear that loud and clear. With you then for the EFL Cup second round match between Plymouth and Crystal Palace. It's Francis Benali and Alistair Bruce Ball.
Thank you, Kelly. Welcome to Home Park, everyone. Loud and proud down on the South Devon coast, back in the Championship, playing some great football under Steven Schumacher. Coming into this cup tie, actually, off the back of a couple of painful defeats. Lost 2-1 at home to Southampton and then 2-1 away to Birmingham. Both to late winners from the opposition in that game, but certainly not dampen the spirits ahead of this evening. The Plymouth team are out, looking mint, shall I say, in that very recognisable dark Plymouth green. Gold trimmings on the kit and the two sets of players just either side of the halfway line. The Plymouth players making their way down that line of Crystal Palace players, just exchanging the handshakes ahead of the game. 9 changes for Plymouth, 7 changes for Crystal Palace. Carabao Cup second round, 19 ties tonight. We'll keep you updated with all the scores. We've got reporters at 9 of the other games. We've got full commentary on Fulham Tottenham over on Sports Extra, and we can tell you already that Swansea are leading Bournemouth by 1-0. So this is Championship against Premier League. There's the song we were telling you about, as well as the Crystal Palace players strip off the tracksuit tops. Let's get you through the two team lineups, and then we'll concentrate on this cup game we have ahead of us in this rocking atmosphere inside Home Park. So Plymouth's goalkeeper is Callum Burton. He's the number 2 at the moment. Michael Cooper, who's been so brilliant over the last couple of seasons, is out injured. Connor Hazard, signed from Celtic, has been the man in the league this season, but Callum Burton did a great job towards the end of the promotion-winning campaign last season. He's between the sticks. Kane Kessler-Hayden, one of the players on loan, a 20-year-old on loan from Aston Villa's impressed so far. He's in the back 4 alongside Dan Scarr, who's one of the 2 players that remain from the starting lineup against Birmingham at the weekend, and Julio Plegatsuelo started out at Arsenal, joined Arsenal as a 16-year-old, first season at Plymouth. He starts in the back 4. Mikael Miller in there as well. Lewis Warrington's a young man in central midfield on loan from Everton. Luke Cundle, you probably heard of. He was on loan at Swansea last season, on loan at Plymouth this season. He's in the midfield 3. Matt Butcher in there as well. Tyreek Wright and Callum Wright supporting Ben Waine, the New Zealander, up front, who scored both goals in the 2-0 win over Leyton Orient in the first round of this competition. Sam Johnston in goal for Crystal Palace, bedecked in bright orange all the way to our right. Nathaniel Klein, James Tompkins, Chris Richards, the American, Tyreek Mitchell, the back 4. Jairo Riedewald, Jefferson Lerma, recent signing from Bournemouth, and Nauru Ahamada, the Frenchman who joined in January. They're in the midfield. Odson Edouard, Jean-Philippe Mateta and Jesrun Raksaki making only a 4th appearance for Crystal Palace, having scored 15 goals on loan at Charlton in League One last season. So we're underway. Plymouth all in dark green, playing from left to right in the first half, and Luke Cundle is onto the ball early. Mistake from Crystal Palace. They've given it away, but they've given it straight back to Palace again. Palace are in the white shirts, the light blue shorts and white socks, and James Tompkins, full of experience, clears the ball forward, and this suddenly breaks nicely for Ahamadu, who comes striding forward into the Plymouth half, flicks it to his right with the right foot, and then a stinging shot from Jefferson Lerma goes straight into the back of Mateta, who blocks the effort, which may well have been on target. Ahamada on the ball again, so he's featured early on. He curls a pass out to the right-hand side. Palace looking to try and get a cross in from the right. Miller is back there, clears with his left foot for Plymouth. Up towards the centre forward, Ben Waine. He chests it down. He's lost it. Tompkins takes his time and plays back into the Crystal Palace half. That is a lively start for Ali Benali.
Certainly was, Ali, wasn't it? And not great to begin with from Palace, giving the ball away in the middle of their own half, and Plymouth Argyle unable to really capitalise on that, but then they've gone down the opposite end and looked quite dangerous, that initial shot, didn't it, if it hadn't have struck his teammate. But so all of a sudden now it's what we probably expect in many ways. The Premier League side just taking control of the possession and knocking the ball around a little bit, but I think Plymouth Argyle and the supporters will be looking to get after this Crystal Palace team early on, just to see what they're all about.
Tyreek Mitchell on the ball for the Premier League team, wide on the left inside Plymouth territory, plays it back to Odsonne Edouard playing just off Mateta so far this evening. Lerma floats it forward, Mateta flicks it on, it drops in the penalty area. Ahamad has made a run forward, Mitchell has followed it up, little touch on the ball, and Plymouth rather desperately scramble that ball away, and it goes out for a throw-in to Palace. So the Vidi printer is up and running. 19 games in the second round of the League Cup tonight, the Carabao Cup, and all will finish this evening. There's no extra time. If it's level after 90 minutes, we are straight into penalty shootouts, so it could certainly be a dramatic evening on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Roy Hodgson yet to appear during the game from the dugout. Stephen Schumacher I can see though, in a black hooded top, hands tucked deep in pockets, black trousers, as Palace play again inside the Plymouth half, and the ball comes infield and it's laid back towards the halfway line. There's Riedewald, now in his 7th season at Crystal Palace, the Dutchman, left-footed ball, chipping one up towards Mateta, but he's never going to win that header. Cundle gets a little touch in the midfield, plays it back to Butcher to his left-hand side as Miller tries to make ground. I think he just ran that over the touchline. He did. Yeah, assistant referee says throw in to Crystal Palace. So Plymouth 0, Palace 0, 3 minutes played.
With all these changes, Ali, I think for both sides, managers want to see a reaction. Clearly there's a job to be done here tonight to progress through to the next round, but from the players' perspective, the individuals, there's a lot of players that aren't figuring in the regular starting lineups for both managers. So there's something that they've got to prove themselves out here in a games like this, where they can impress the manager and say, look, this is what I've just done in the cup tie, consider me for the League Cup games.
Plymouth have a home game against Blackburn on Saturday. Crystal Palace at home to Wolves. Then the international break is on the way. Touch and turn from Mateta. Good football from Palace. There was a foul in the build-up, but they're allowed to continue. That's Raksaki, who started wide on the right for Palace in this game. Looking forward to watching a bit of him, just 20 years old. And I can see that Bradford one up away to Wrexham. 2 League Two teams going head-to-head in the second round of the League Cup this evening. Tyler Smith's penalty has Bradford in front. Goal at Luton early on. John Southall.
2 minutes in, Luton 1, Gillingham 0 on his full debut. Jacob Brown on the left of the area planted the ball into the bottom right-hand corner. Luton 1, Gillingham 0.
Do you want some good news, John?
Go on.
Stoke 1, Rotherham 0.
Oh, Jacob Brown, of course, former Stoke as well.
Wouter Berger. Oh, Jacob Brown, Jacob Brown, your man, yeah. Wouter Berger scored for Stoke.
Well, he started very well, actually. He's a good player.
There we go then. Well, he started well tonight because it's taken him 2 minutes and he scored the goal. So those are the goals going in so far. We are 4.5 minutes in at Home Park. We're watching Plymouth against Crystal Palace, and at the moment it is 0-0. Plymouth keeping possession inside their own half. Dan Scarr plays it forward into midfield. Cundle is able to turn, makes 10 yards forward, then spreads the play wide to the left-hand side. And Plymouth come on the front foot, and Cundle wants the ball again. He's about 25 yards out in the inside right channel, rolls it to his right and plays it to Tyreek Wright, the number 19 on the back of his dark green shirt. Back it comes. to Kesler Hayden. Well worked this by Plymouth. Then the cross comes in from the right to the far post. That's a handball, surely, but it doesn't matter. It's ended up in the back of the net, and Plymouth have the lead after just 5 minutes. Ben Waine does it again in the Carabao Cup. 2 against Leyton Orient in the first round, and he pounced quite brilliantly there to stick it past Sam Johnston. Plymouth 1, Crystal Palace 0.
What a great build-up this was from Plymouth Argyle. It was fabulous football. They were patient. They just waited for the chance to play that crucial ball, and then there's a cross in from the right-hand side. There was that big appeal for a handball, but it didn't matter. Ben Wade was there, as you say, Ali, as he's done in the first round, adds to his 2 goals that he's already scored so far. This is 3 goals he's now scored. He's the cup man for Plymouth Argyle. 1-0 to the home side.
If he'd not stuck that away, Franny, penalty, do you think? I mean, it looked to me like Klein's arm was away and blocking that
yeah,
knockback.
There was a big appeal, wasn't there? Yeah. Certainly from the home supporters, so it would have been a big decision for the referee.
Exeter 1, Stevenage 0, Birmingham 0, Cardiff 1. Goals flying in, 19 ties in the second round of the League Cup this evening, and Home Park is jumping already. Ben Waine has given Plymouth the lead. Plymouth 1, Crystal Palace 0. 7:30 kickoff tonight. There's one of them. That's Swansea against Bournemouth. Aaron Paul's watching this one.
Swansea 1, Bournemouth 0. The home side lead through a Matt Grimes penalty. That after Chris Mepham was penalised for handball. Bournemouth pushing for an equaliser. The experienced Carl Norter intercepting a dangerous Jayden Anthony cross just moments ago. Swansea 1, Bournemouth 0.
So Plymouth 1, Palace 0, and Plymouth keeping possession of the ball again inside their own half. This is how it started all the way back here. A brilliant move that led up to the opening goal. This time Dan Scarr, the centre-back, goes with a longer ball down the right. Chris Richards, the American, has it covered. Good to see him back fit, playing football for Crystal Palace, but Palace find themselves behind early on in this cup tie.
Do you know who was key to that goal there, Ali? I thought who did really well was Kane Kesler Hayden. Couple of great little balls that he played. We've seen him play on the left-hand side as well as a left-back, but looks equally happy on the right-hand side. Very talented young man.
Here they come again. This is Callum Wright on the left-hand side, crossing, looking for Waine. That is headed away by Richards. Edwards rather carelessly lost it on the edge of the box. Twisting and turning is Tyreek Wright. Ball comes back. Now there's Kesler Hayden again. That's who Franny was just talking about. 20-year-old on loan from Aston Villa. Getting forward well down the right-hand side. Plymouth come again. They've switched the ball to the left. Remember, 9 changes to this Plymouth team tonight. This is not the team that has regularly been starting the Championship. They lead Palace by a goal to 0, and they're giving Palace the run around at the moment. Latest at Craven Cottage, John Hunt.
It's 0-0 here, the rain coming down. Nice tempo to the game. Best chance for Fulham. Great work down the left, Anthony Robinson, and the ball over saw Rodrigo Muniz miss his header from close range. Big chance that for Fulham's gone bedding. 7 minutes gone here. It's Fulham 0, Tottenham 0.
League 2 against Premier League in Wales tonight. Newport Brentford, Chris Coles.
It's 0-0, Ali. 8 fairly predictable minutes though have elapsed. Brentford with all of the ball, all of the possession. Newport looking dangerous aerially and on the counter-attack, but no real chances yet. 0-0.
Plymouth 1, Palace 0. Next stop Molineux, Charlie Slater.
Minutes gone, Wolves 0, Blackpool 0. Almost constant possession here for the Premier League side. It was 4 minutes before Blackpool really even touched the ball. Fabio Silva's break and Boubakary Traore's effort, the only chance so far, still goalless.
Sheffield Wednesday against Mansfield at Hillsborough this evening. That's Prem G.
Sheffield Wednesday 0, Mansfield 0. One chance for Wednesday. Paul Valentin's cross from the right. Callum Patterson with a header straight at Christy Pym. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Mansfield 0.
Not missing too much here. Plymouth have had a bit of the ball since we've been bouncing around the grounds. Crystal Palace have it now inside their own half. Tranmere Leicester is being watched by Betty Glover.
Not missing much here either. Tranmere 0, Leicester 0 as expected. Leicester in full control of most of the possession, spending a lot of time in front of Tranmere's goal, and after Tranmere didn't clear properly, Harry Winks had a go firing one towards goal, but it just went wide. Tranmere 0, Leicester 0.
Luton leading Gillingham by a goal to 0. Our final stop on this little trip around the grounds. Bolton Middlesbrough, Rob Law.
Middlesbrough's Marcus Forss did well out on the right hand side a few moments ago. Low ball into the area, but Emmanuel Latte-Lath just couldn't get on the end of it. Bolton 0, Borough 0.
Okay, there we go. That's how it works then, Franny, on a night like tonight. You'll get a break because we'll be flying around. Goals will be flying in. There'll be red cards. There'll be incidents. There'll be all sorts.
I love it. Full of action.
Yes, and this game's been good so far, and Plymouth have really taken it well. What was I saying? Goal at Molineux, Charlie Slater.
Indeed, Wolves have the lead. Sasa Kalajdzic, he scored at the weekend, he's scored again tonight. A little tap in really from around 10 yards after Sarabia's shot was parried. It's Wolves 1, Blackpool 0.
Ball is with the Plymouth goalkeeper, Callum Burton. All in shocking pink away to our left. Lovely evening in Plymouth here. Dan Scarr tries to thread one through the Palace midfield. It doesn't come off. Lerma's there. Side foots the ball back. Edouard quickly onto Mateta. Nice football. Lerma. Raksaki. Oh, top corner. Now that is Premier League class from Crystal Palace. But the cheers come from the Plymouth fans. It's been ruled out for offside. Great goal though.
Oh, it's a fabulous finish, wasn't it? What good build-up play from Crystal Palace as well. But it was the official, the referee, his assistant out on the far side, puts flag up offside, and it's got now Plymouth Argyle on the attack.
End to end, absolutely end to end in the first half.
It's a great start to this game. We said beforehand, just off air, didn't I like the idea of, sort of like the home side taking the lead, and it's a little bit of a close one, but takes a deflection off the fullback, the strike, but it's still a wonderful finish.
So Plymouth have not been beyond the second round of this competition in the last 15 seasons. The last time they managed it was back in 2008 as a championship team. Might be able to do that this evening. Leading Crystal Palace by 1-0. Commentary of Fulham Tottenham is over on Sports Extra tomorrow night on 5 Live. Full commentary from 8 o'clock on Doncaster Rovers against Everton. 5 more League Cup ties tomorrow night. England-New Zealand, the first T20 international, will be on Sports Extra tomorrow night from 5:45. Coming up to 12 minutes played at Home Park. And Plymouth lead Crystal Palace by 1-0. If you're just tuning in, Ben Waine, he's the man for this competition for Plymouth so far this season. 2 against Leyton Orient in the first round and 1 in the 6th minute of this game tonight. Mitchell's throw onto the left boot of Odsonne Edouard. Nice control, back to Mitchell, pass just beyond Lerma. He stretched and couldn't control it. Ball is won back by Plegat-Suelo, the Spaniard. And here he is again, under no pressure at all. 10 yards short of the halfway line, inside his own half. Scarr plays it across to his left to Mikael Miller, former Rotherham man. And Plymouth quite happy here just to keep the ball inside their own half, Franny.
They certainly are, Ali, and they're good at knocking the ball around, aren't they? They're very comfortable in possession. From watching their league lineups, they've been quite comfortable, and Kundal on the ball now is one of those players that is very, very comfortable in possession of the ball.
Kundal rolls it into the edge of the penalty area, doesn't quite break there. Shot from range from Warrington, goes flying over the crossbar and behind for the goal kick. So there's another one. 20 years old Lewis Warrington, on loan from Everton this season, in the heart of that Plymouth midfield tonight, and had the confidence to take it on.
Yep, no, it's good attempt, but a little bit obviously sort of off target on that occasion, but it just shows the confidence that the Argyle players have, and the way that they've started taking the lead like they have done. They feel now that they've got something, they can have a real go at this Crystal Palace side, and what we've seen so far, Palace look just a little bit, albeit that disallowed goal, a little bit uncomfortable.
Giving the ball away inside their own half, and Plymouth taking every confidence from it. Kundal back to Kessler Hayden. Even in that movement from the young fullback there, just letting the ball run across him and using his body to throw the opponent.
Looks very comfortable on the ball, doesn't he? Skillful, technical, and obviously he's been very key to that first goal that we've seen from Argyle this evening.
Former Southampton defender Franny Benali, 15 seasons in the top flight with Southampton. Franny had with us tonight. 5 Live and BBC Sounds, keeping you across everything that's going on in the Carabao Cup this evening from 10 o'clock tonight on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Commentary on the US Open tennis. Commentary online on that at the moment if you want to go and find that. But here we've got Plymouth 1, Crystal Palace 0. We've got a full house at Home Park, and it's set up very nicely, and Roy Hodgson has now appeared. Wrapped up in the black coat. Temperature's just cooling a little, but clearly has been moved enough to come out to the edge of the pitch and try and affect things a little bit for his team. Tompkins with a volleyed pass. Here's Lerma. Lerma's running away from the Plymouth goal, now turns and starts to make ground towards it. Lays it off to Mitchell. Mitchell, miscontrolled by Lerma, just recovers the situation. And Crystal Palace play back into their own half. Lerma just recovers from the challenge made on him, slowly picks himself to his feet, and Crystal Palace come back to their keeper. Let's take you back to Kenilworth Road. John Southall watching Luton Gillingham. John?
Luton still lead by that 1-0. We've seen a shot from Macaulay Bond just from the edge of the area fly over the crossbar for Gillingham. And just to say, Ali, inside the new look Kenilworth Road, a really good crowd. Actually, it's pretty much sold out, apart from the stand we're sitting in. It's the new Bobbers stand, which used to be the executive boxes, if you remember. 75% capacity in here, and a really good view from up in the gantry. I think you'll like it.
Am I right saying West Ham there on Friday night, John? It's Luton.
Yeah.
It's that way round, isn't it? Yeah. So first home Premier League game. Yeah,
that
definitely.
Will be lively.
Definitely part of the Friday Football Social. Updates on that one on 5 Live and BBC Sounds later in the week. Plymouth 1, Palace 0. So as John was saying, Luton leading Gillingham by a goal to nil in our featured games. Wolves 1 up on Blackpool. Swansea 1 up on Bournemouth. Here's Mitchell for Crystal Palace, bright white shirts with the light blue sash, diagonal sash cut across the front. Edouard, cheeky little pass, looking for Mateta. Great sliding challenge on Mateta from Plague at Swallow. Offside flag was up again. That one must have been close, but some fabulous defending, Franny, that you'd have been proud of, I think.
Oh yeah, it was a wonderful challenge from Pleguez. We've got to try this one. Pleguezelo.
Yes, that's good.
Brilliant. It was good defending, but again, a tight call. I think if there's one little bit of apprehension that the home supporters may have, is that there's been a couple of close calls like that now. So it's a fine line between the offside and being too brave.
Defending for Plymouth to do again, and they've done it again well. Raksaki this time is just trying to slide a ball through in the inside right channel through to Ahamada, but that was blocked in. Just gone out for a throw into Crystal Palace on the right. So we played over 15 minutes. Plymouth 1, Palace 0. Latest from Molineux, Charlie Slater.
16 minutes on the clock. Wolves still leading against Blackpool by 1-0, but Blackpool have just whacked the right hand upright a few moments ago. Something to keep the Premier League side honest. Still 1-0.
Plymouth 1, Palace 0. Ball half cleared by Plymouth. Here's Riedewald, comes forward in his black boots. Step over. 2 Plymouth players for company. Plays the ball back to Klein. Klein thought about the early cross with his left foot, decided against it. So Palace have come back to the halfway line. John Akers has just scribbled down on my right here, Franny. If we don't want to say Plague at Swallow, apparently everyone here calls him Pleggy. So if you want Pleggy,
that sounds very good to me.
Go Pleggy. Yeah.
Well, as long as he doesn't mind.
No, I'm sure he doesn't mind. Klein plays back to Tompkins. Tompkins across to Chris Richards. Across this Crystal Palace backline. Jefferson Lerma has dropped deep for a second, and Plymouth with Cundall just putting the pressure on, so Palace can't find a way out at the moment, but comfortably keeping the ball. Tompkins to Lerma. Lerma dummies a pass, then plays a low one to his left to Richards. Richards down the left-hand side to Mitchell, building up nicely for Palace here. Mateta stabs a pass to his left, finds Edouard. Mitchell tries to stay onside on the left, but Edouard plays infield to Lerma. Lerma gets a shout from a teammate that he's got a man on, so back it comes to Richards. Richards to Tompkins. This now being played inside the Plymouth half. Edouard back to goal. Pass fired out to the left, finds Mitchell. Mitchell goes for the early cross in, that is cleared. And a chance for Tyreek Wright to get it away. And he's done a little bit too much dribbling there and almost got caught in possession, and Plymouth eventually get it up to Ben Way. Now that's a nice turn from the goal scorer to get away from Tompkins. Not too much support at the moment, so sensibly holds onto the ball. Finds Cundall. Cundall's been really bright in the opening stages here. Back to the halfway line in Warrington, and Plymouth keep it. Game kicked off at 8 o'clock in the League Cup tonight. Salford leads. Lee Blakeman watching this one.
Salford 0, Leeds 0. Got early chance for Salford already. On the counter, Bolton down the right, sent in the cross. Hendry couldn't divert it goalwards from close range. 0-0.
Thank you, Lee. 18 and a half minutes gone at Home Park. Franny Benali alongside us here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Tyreek Wright. Oh, great cross into the far post, and Callum Wright sticks out a boot and just couldn't quite force it over the line. But that's where the opening goal came from, the deep cross to the far post. They very nearly, Franny, got another.
They certainly did, and it was Tyreek Wright who's put that ball across. What a great ball into the box, and just Argyle unable to get that final touch at the far post there. But again, it's worrying for Crystal Palace. They're not started this game particularly well this evening.
Plymouth 1, Palace 0. Palace under pressure at the moment. Corner to defend here, which will come in from Plymouth's left flank. In swinger with the right foot. High swinging deep one. Scar, powerful header. Just couldn't quite keep it down, and it lobs onto the roof of Sam Johnston's net, and that will be a goal kick for Crystal Palace. So Palace need to settle and get themselves into this game somehow, don't they, Franny?
I think so, yeah. They're clearly going a goal behind. Yes, they've had one disallowed goal, Ali, but it doesn't seem to be. I just try and put myself sometimes in the minds of the players in the dressing room. I'd be thinking, like, let's come out, let's really, if you're the visiting side, let's try and quieten the home crowd down, don't make any mistakes. They gave the ball away in the first 10-15 seconds. They've now conceded a goal. They've given the home side and the support to give something to hang on to now and to almost maybe even build from. So it's a far from ideal start from Crystal Palace, but they've just got to be patient, try and work themselves back into it. But at the moment, it doesn't really seem to be anyone breaking a gut, busting a gut or breaking the lines to really go and pressure the Argyle side.
Now there's a good run forward from Ben Waine. Tompkins under pressure. All he can do is clear it behind for a corner. No other option. Thought about going back to Sam Johnston. He was too close to him. Plymouth have won themselves another corner. And that was just a ball from sort of central midfield over the top and caught Palace out. That's where they mix it up really well. They're comfortable pinging the passes around, just keeping possession, but they're more than happy to go a little bit more direct as well, which was the perfect choice then. So corner will be taken by Lewis Warrington. It's a short one. Tyreek Wright on the dribble into the penalty area on the right. Back to Warrington. Curling ball. Far post again. Tompkins felt he was lent on there as he tried to head the ball away. Nothing given. Chance for Lerma to clear. First goal of the night at Craven Cottage. John Hunt.
Gone to the home side as well. Fulham 1, Tottenham 0. Marvellous work down the left by Tom Cairney. He put a ball across the area and it flicked into the goal off a hapless defender, Mickey van der Ven. Own goal then has put Spurs behind. Fulham 1, Tottenham 0.
Stoke 2, Rotherham 0 latest, and Sutton United are 1 up away to Wickham. So that is League 2 leading League 1. In that tie. Newport County against Brentford. Chris Coles.
Yeah, League 2 still holding Premier League, but only just. Brentford have had the game's best chance. Ben Mee header, back post, cleared off the line by Harry Charsley. Newport holding on slightly here. It's still 0-0 though.
Approaching the midway point in the first half here at Home Park. League Cup football on 5 Live and BBC Sounds tonight, as it will be tomorrow. Steve Crossman in the hot seat tomorrow night, building up to Doncaster Rovers against Everton at 8 o'clock. Here we're watching Plymouth 1, Crystal Palace 0. Plymouth playing some lovely stuff at the moment. Inside their own half, there's Callum Wright. There's the 20-year-old Lewis Warrington. Quick crisp pass from him back to Plagat Swalo. Then the ball driven from deep. Great run made forward by Tyreek Wright, and it's just beyond him. The ball bounces away and goes out for the goal kick. The last 2 balls forward, Franny, have actually been played from the right boot of Kessler Hayden, the right back, coming into midfield from a sort of central midfield position, almost like, and I'm not comparing him, the old Alexander Arnold sort of sitting in that position and pinging the passes about.
There is a comparison, isn't there? But you're right. I mean, this Argyle side are very confident, very comfortable in possession of the football. They're more than happy to mix it up. We've just seen about a good 10 to 12 passes between their side in the back, the last third and the middle third of the pitch. But then all of a sudden they just switched that into a direct pass, and it was just a little bit of a shame from Plymouth Argyle's perspective that time. Tyreek Wright went that little bit early, mistimed his run. He would have liked the ball a little bit earlier, but very, very comfortable in possession of Argyle. It's good to watch.
Plymouth keeper clears unceremoniously with his right foot under pressure from Mateta, and that goes out for a Palace throw just inside the Plymouth half on the right. Goal at Bolton, Rob Law.
22 minutes in, Bolton have taken the lead thanks to Dion Charles after he just put pen to paper on a new contract. Pounced on a rebound after a shot from Josh Sheehan inside the area. Bolton lead 1-0 against Middlesbrough.
Plymouth lead Crystal Palace 1-0 here at Home Park. The ball falls here for Kessler Hayden, who again is in a more central position inside his own half. Plays back to Scar to his goalkeeper Burton. Burton very happy to play across his own penalty area. Plagat Swalo under pressure, and a clearance up the middle of the pitch intercepted easily by Riedewald. Riedewald plays a 1-2, then works it to his left and finds Edouard. Mitchell on the support on the outside. Edouard slides it to his right. Riedewald now uses Mitchell. Back to Riedewald. Curling ball in, teasing one. Plagat Swalo, whose initial mistake led to the Crystal Palace attack there, jumps well, clears with the head, and out it goes for a throw to Palace on the left.
Much better from Palace, Sally, wasn't it? You know, a bit more comfortable. Obviously winning the ball when it was given away by Argyle, but just need to be a little bit sharper with their passing at times, but being patient at this moment.
That left-hand corner of the pitch, and we've got a very useful TV monitor for the replays here, Franny, but where you're sitting, when Palace attack down that left-hand side, you've actually got a dart either side of the monitor, haven't you, to see it live.
Am I bothering you already? Am I getting in your way? I can stand up at the back if you like.
No, you're absolutely fine. I can see it fine. Thank you very much indeed. 25 minutes gone. Plymouth 1, Palace 0. Rotherham have got a goal back at Stoke, so 3 goals in the first 22 minutes of that game. Sean Morrison has pegged Stoke back. Stoke 2, Rotherham 1, and I'm hearing there's been another goal at Molineux to Charlie Slater.
25 gone. Wolves have doubled their lead. You might have heard it over the tannoy. Fabio Silva, lovely right-footed finish past the keeper. It cost 35 million. No surprise the League One side can't stick with him. It's 2-0 Wolves.
Tyreek Wright on the turn, looking for a clever little ball into the Crystal Palace box. Klein is back there to get it away. There was a shot block from Ben Waine. He was lining one up from just inside the penalty area. Really important block on the right-footed strike, and Plymouth are looking really dangerous here.
They are, Ali, yeah, and it's Tyreek Wright on this right-hand side who's given Tyreek Mitchell, the left-back for Crystal Palace, a real problem. I think he's making those little darting runs, but where his team of keeping the possession for 3, 4, 5 or more passes, it enables Tyreek Wright to time his runs, make those little darts in behind, and if the timing's right and the pass is right, he's going to get in behind that Palace defence.
Can't fail to be impressed by Plymouth so far this evening. 9 changes made to the regular starting lineup in the Championship, but look really comfortable and playing some lovely stuff. Warrington, diagonal ball. Klein's read this, steps in, intercepts, gets there ahead of Callum Wright, and the ball goes out for a throw. And the player Franny was just talking about, Tyreek Wright, who's closest to us on this right-hand side for Plymouth, just 21 years old, joined the club in January permanently from Aston Villa, spent the first half of last season on loan to Bradford, but has been a real threat for Plymouth in this first half, and he is one of those who doesn't start regularly in the Championship team. That's because of the form of Morgan Whittaker and Barley Mumba on the left-hand side. But what Stephen Schumacher wants to see is thinking, well, if either of those guys gets injured or, suddenly hits an off-patch, look at this fella tonight.
He's going about it exactly the right way, is Tyreek Wright this evening. If there's any consideration, as you say, about picking a different kind of lineup or being thrown in, when you're putting in this kind of performance from what we've seen in these opening 26 minutes or so, that's exactly what you want from your squad.
Franny Benali with us, 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and here they come again. Kessler Hayden well forward here, 25 yards out, fancies it on the left foot, falls to Tyreek Wright, hits the shot with his left foot, and that is blocked by Chris Richards. He's yet to score for Plymouth Argyle, and that was a good chance for Tyreek Wright. Salford Leeds update, Lee Blakeman.
Salford 0, Leeds 0. Leeds dominating possession and just had a great chance. Nonto down the left, sent in the cross. Rotter couldn't quite keep his shot down. Over the crossbar it went. Salford 0, Leeds 0.
Throw in for Plymouth. Great noise inside this stadium. Home team ahead and looking to knock Premier League Crystal Palace out of the League Cup in the second round. Warrington curls a lovely low pass to Cundall. Cundall to Kessler Hayden. Kessler Hayden in his bright pink boots brings it infield to Warrington, takes a touch, chased by Lerma, plays it back to Scar. Scar calmly strokes it across the halfway line, and Plagat-Swalo just strides away from Mateta. Ball into midfield, turn from Miller up to the corner of the penalty area. Miller plays it out to his left to Callum Wright. Wright comes back, Plagat-Swalo to Matt Butcher, who's dropped between the two centre-backs, still inside the Crystal Palace half. Warrington again, nice low ball to Cundall. Cundall lays it off down the right. Kessler Hayden's made the run, tries a trick to get down the byline, isn't able to beat Chris Richards there, and Crystal Palace have a chance to clear. Luton against Gillingham. John Southall.
Luton still lead by 1-0. 27 minutes play, chance for Luton though. Luke Berry scuffed his shot, just held by the goalkeeper Glenn Morris to his right hand side. Luton have a free kick here, and the first negative of the new Gantry Alley: when it rains you get wet. Luton 1, Gillingham 0.
Right, going to scribble that down in the notes for going to Luton whenever that happens later this season. Plymouth charging forward with the ball, leading Palace 1-0, and Redevout makes a really important tackle on Miller there, and it might turn into a little counter-attack for the away team. Raksaki's not seen much of the ball for the last 10 minutes, then runs into the challenge of Plagat-Swalo, goes down, wins the free kick, and the Plymouth fan in front of us, Franny, gets up, holds both arms out, goes, come on, ref. Never a foul. What do you think?
Yeah, it was a foul, and I think it was probably quite a wise one. And actually, he's just stepped across him, to be honest, so he's right in front of the referee's assistant, so he's instantly flagged. But actually maybe did his team a bit of a favour there, because they had lost possession in midway of the pitch, and all of a sudden there was that counter-attack, as you mentioned, and Palace would have been away, but they've got a free kick into the box to defend now.
Tonight is flying by so far. Goals going in up and down the country. Back to John Southall at Luton. There's been another goal, John.
Luton have a second. Luton 2, Gillingham 0. Brilliant goal from Alfie Doughty. He must have been 25-30 yards out. Touched to him from a free kick, and he whipped it in. Brilliant strike. Luton 2, Gillingham 0.
Peterborough 1-up at Portsmouth in the League Cup this evening. Free kick for Crystal Palace here. They're trailing by a 1-0. This is going to come in from the right-hand side. Delivery in towards the far post. Scar heads it away, drops down on the edge of the box. Goal at Hillsborough, Naz Premji.
Sheffield Wednesday 1, Mansfield 0. Anthony Mazaba with a close range header, his first for the club. Wednesday lead 1-0 here against Mansfield.
Ben Waine on the charge for Plymouth, goes down, thought he was fouled. The free kick goes the other way. As he falls on the ball, he grabs it with both hands. Handball given against him.
And the referee's just making sure he retreats and doesn't demonstrate any more than what he has done. But we see a lot of those kind of incidents, don't we, where the players got a little nudge. Ben Waine took a little nudge and he went to the ground, obviously did collect the ball as well, but the referee's assistant gave that as the handball as opposed to the foul, which Ben Waine and the home supporters clearly thought they deserved.
Fantastic build-up play from Palace here. Mateta's spoiled it now though, because he couldn't find Edouard. The link-up play between Edouard, Mateta and Riedeval leading up to that was delightful. A lot more of what Roy Hodgson wants to see. Edouard gets onto the ball now, plays it back to Ahamada. Ahamada comes running into midfield, good vision, sees Raksaki trying to trick onto his left foot, low shot, that's blocked, comes back to him, ball's pinging around and Mateta stretches, can't get a touch, and it's in the arms of the Plymouth goalkeeper, Callum Burton, who's yet to make a meaningful save in the game tonight. Plymouth lead Palace by 1-0.
Yeah, they've got to stay concentrating right throughout this entire match. Argyle, Palace is the Premier League side, they still have talent in that side and it can change in an instant. We've seen that already, so they've just got to continue doing what they've been doing now, and they're again on another counter-attack, which is an amazing run so far.
Kessler Hayden again, fabulous run through the heart of the Crystal Palace midfield, beat two men, couldn't quite get the pass away to Waine. Warrington wins a header on the halfway line, Klein wins the next one, Riedeval toes it to his right, Raksaki heavily challenged and does get a free kick. Plymouth fans feel that was ball before man, and then man afterwards. Stephen Schumacher not happy with the decision either.
Do you know what, Ali? I think Palace just can't handle the formation and the way that Argyle are playing this evening. They're brave, they're comfortable in possession, as we've said already tonight. They're almost always being played around so often that we've seen already so far. Their formation, they have 2 at the back when they have possession, then they have a 3 in midfield, and they're overloading that little midfield area, and then they're making those runs up front and sliding those passes through. It's been a problem for Palace so far.
Plymouth 1, Palace 0, 13 minutes remaining in the first half. The ball is at the feet of the Palace goalkeeper Sam Johnston. Doesn't see an option short, so floats it up to Mateta, who is a big target man, you can hit him, flicks it on, couldn't find Edouard. Next ball drops to Riedeval, he side foots it back to Nathaniel Klein in the right back position. Raksaki comes towards him, lays it off to Riedeval. Riedeval just caresses it with the instep of his left boot and finds Chris Richards thundering forward from centre back. Stoke 3, Rotherham 1, so 4 goals in the first half hour of that one. Lovely turn from Edouard to Raksaki, coming in on the angle in the penalty area, right across the face of goal. Mateta stretches, can't get a touch. If he got his boot on the end of that, it was in the back of the net. It's still Plymouth 1, Palace 0. There's been another goal at Bolton. Rob Law.
There has indeed. 33 minutes on the clock and Middlesbrough have equalised against Bolton, and it's Matt Crooks, a through ball to him from Marcus Forss, who lifted it over the goalkeeper to level. It's 1-1.
Half-time at Swansea, Aaron Paul.
Swansea 1, Bournemouth 0. The home side taking the lead through a Matt Grimes penalty after a Chris Mepham handball, and they look really good value for it. Bournemouth limited to half chances throughout. At the break, it is Swansea 1, Bournemouth 0.
Was Raksaki shooting there, or was he looking for Mateta at the far post, Franny?
It's a very good point, Ali. I was questioning that myself when I saw the replay. It wasn't one or the other, really, was it? I think it was if it was a shot, it was a half-hearted shot, but it was, he lined his fullback up great, just dribbling towards him, simple step over, then he flicked at it a little bit, which wasn't really a shot, but it could have easily have gone to Mateta on the far post, which would have been literally a tap in from 2 yards.
Tyreek Wright with pace down the right for Plymouth. Mitchell gets back at him, holds him up for now, but Tyreek Wright is trying to turn away from him. Back to Warrington to Tyreek Wright. 3 defenders around him, but still the presence of mind to find Kessler Hayden behind him. Up the line to Cundall, back to Kessler Hayden. Plymouth happy to come all the way back into their own half. Chance in the game between Newport and Brentford. Chris Coles.
A chance for Newport as well. It's been all Brentford, but Newport creating the game's best chance. Harry Charsley 6 yards out, guiding his header just round, and suddenly it's all Newport, but still 0-0.
So Premier League Crystal Palace behind here at Plymouth. At half-time, Premier League Bournemouth behind at Swansea, trailing by a goal to nil. Tottenham 1 down at Fulham. Some of the scorelines from the League Cup football for you tonight. About 10 minutes remaining in the first half here. Night is falling in Plymouth. You get a wonderful view over the stadium roofs. Actually, you can see some of the surrounding houses all around the ground. Tranmere Leicester latest, Betty Glover.
Still goalless, but Dan Pike, who's making his debut here for Tranmere, had the home side's best chance of the game so far, taking a shot from about 35 yards out, tried his luck and it had to be palmed away by Leicester's keeper, while Kazadeh just headed over the bar for Leicester. It's Tranmere 0, Leicester 0.
Another half chance for Plymouth here. Shot block, Matt Butcher's attempt. Shot block, then a shot from range goes wide of Sam Johnston's post. Plymouth 1, Palace 0.
Yeah, it was a good attempt again. It just shows the confidence playing through this Argyle side, and the home supporters again is just driving them forward. Whenever there looks like a dangerous move or a dangerous break on, the supporters are on their feet. You can see why they've fully justified this 1-0 lead so far.
Goal kick for Crystal Palace, driven forward by Sam Johnston. Ball comes spinning down, dropping from the sky. Mateta gets it on his back. Miller lobs one forward. That looked like a little tug back by Riedewald there, spotted by the referee because his man was getting away from him. Butcher was trying to make the run down the inside left, and Riedewald knew he wasn't going to get there, so free kick Plymouth. Definite foul, and just wondering if there was going to be a booking, but no yellow card from the referee on that occasion. Tyreek Wright on the ball for Plymouth. Back to Kessler Hayden. In turn comes back to Scar, all the way back to the Plymouth goalkeeper. Let's check in at Craven Cottage again. John Hunt.
35 minutes gone, still Fulham 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. That Mickey van der Ven own goal separates the sides. The only other two chances have both fallen to Fulham. Muniz with a header and a shot. Spurs very quiet by their high standards. Fulham 1, Spurs 0.
Commentary continues on Sports Extra on that game. That is Mark Scott and Ray Houghton. The commentary team for that game tonight. Always available on the BBC Sounds app if you've not got that on your device. 5 Live, Sports Extra, everything you need available via the BBC Sounds app, and all the brilliant sporting podcasts we bring you as well, including the recently landed Rugby World Cup top 10s, 5 of them exclusively available on BBC Sounds from today. They've arrived, I've seen them in my inbox. Matt Dawson, Chris Jones, Brian Habana building up to the Rugby World Cup, which starts a week on Friday, and the Rugby Union Weekly becomes the Rugby Union Daily from next Monday. But check out those Rugby World Cup top 10s. Plymouth 1, Palace 0. Here's Riedewald looking for the pass into Raksaki's feet on the edge of the box. That's intercepted, so Plymouth deal with the danger. Cundall's little layoff into midfield. Warrington sees an opportunity to get Kessler Hayden away down the right hand side. Passes just behind him, so it slows for a second. Then Warrington floats a nice ball forward into the midfield. Wide it goes to Kessler Hayden. First mistake of the night from him. Couldn't control it on the run, and it goes out for a throw into Crystal Palace. Yeah, and the home supporters showing their appreciation for that build-up play again. It's great to watch the style of football. You can see it's a lovely way to play. They play out football on the floor, but then they mix it up with that direct pass going forward, either diagonally or in behind the centre halves or the full-backs. Great time to be a Plymouth fan, as you can tell from the atmosphere around us this evening. Salford Leeds kicked off at 8 o'clock this evening. Lee Blakeman, any goals as yet?
0-0. Leeds have just hit the post, and now they've just cleared the crossbar through Nonto as well. Just before that, Somerville cutting in from the left on his right foot, tried the curler, came back off the post. Chances galore, but no goals yet. Salford 0, Leeds 0.
7 minutes remaining in the first half here at Home Park. Plymouth 1, Crystal Palace 0. Franny, what have you spotted? You're pointing over to the far side of the field. Yeah, I was just going to come back to your point earlier, Ali, about the position of the players, and especially Kessler Hayden. He's almost playing left side of the pitch. Is that inverted? We talk about sort of inverted fullbacks and things, but he's literally playing as almost a central defensive midfielder at this moment in point where he is on the pitch. But he even drifted to the left-hand side of the pitch if you drew a line right through the middle of the ground. It's causing Palace problems, as we say. They don't quite know how to handle that movement from the Argyle side, especially when they're comfortable in keeping possession. Take you around all the scores, the half-time scores in 5-6 minutes or so. Reporters at 9 other Carabao Cup ties tonight. Commentary on this one. Plymouth leading Crystal Palace, but Jefferson Lerma trying to do something about it for the Premier League team. Pass finds Lerma on the left again. Lerma back onto his right foot. That's deflected and goes behind for a Crystal Palace corner, a rare Crystal. Is that first Crystal Palace corner?
It's the first one I've just noted down, Ali, but I can't remember them having one. They've had a few free kicks, but again, this is where the manager Steve Schumacher will want his team focusing, concentration right up till the whistle at half time. Don't want to be giving away a sloppy goal at this stage of the match.
Right, Riedewald, the Dutchman, comes over to take the corner for Crystal Palace, languidly steps away from the ball. A lot of space to his left before you get to the fans behind him, so chance to have a good run at it. Hands on hips at the moment. 4 Palace players in the white shirts going to start making their runs from the penalty spot here. Tompkins drifts off, heading for the far post. Ball is aimed towards him. Richards jumps with a flick on. Well, there's a shirt off in the penalty. One of the Crystal Palace players, maybe Edouard, has his shirt off in the box. Another cross comes in, it's headed away, and Edouard's basically saying that was wrestled off his back as they waited for that corner to come in. Eventually a header is flicked on into the arms here of Callum Burton, the Plymouth keeper. He clears long with his right foot downfield. Oh, Tyreek Wright, fabulous control, and then fouled. Eventually the referee decides by Tyreek Mitchell, so that will be a free kick for Plymouth. I tell you what, I'd like to see what went on in the penalty area at that end again, to see how that shirt was removed.
I think it might have been Jefferson Lerman. He's speaking to the referee now as we speak, as if to say, how did you not see that? I mean, I missed it myself as well, but it was bizarre just seeing his shirt end up on the floor, wasn't it? So there must have been some kind of pulling and tugging in there. I've never seen a shirt come off though when a player is tugged in the pitch, but we're just seeing actually Tyreek Wright down at the moment after that foul. The referee took a little bit of time blowing his whistle on. The medical team are on, and he seems to be in quite a bit of discomfort at the moment, so hopefully it's not too serious for him.
Well, the challenge didn't look too serious, Franny, so that's the concern, because if he's fallen awkwardly there and gone down with that heavy challenge on him, you wonder whether he's twisted his knee or something. So Tyreek Wright is sitting up now, medical team around him. While he recovers, let's take you around some of the other games going on in the Carabao Cup this evening. Fulham against Tottenham, John Hunt.
Yes, Tottenham, a rare foray forward. They've just had a direct free kick. Perisic hit the wall though, and that sums up Tottenham's night so far. Still Fulham 1, Tottenham 0, 3 minutes to half time.
Tyreek Wright continues to receive treatment here late in the first half. Up on his feet, let's see how he's moving. Hobbling, but the hobble is sort of disappearing as he picks up speed and moves towards the touchline, so must have felt something sharp go, but actually seems to be okay, which is good news.
Yep, good news for Plymouth Argyle. He's been one of their threats certainly in this first half, hasn't he?
Oh, he definitely has. Franny Benali with us here at Home Park, sold out Home Park for League Cup football tonight. Great place to come and watch football if you can down here. I've not been for a while and really enjoying it this evening. Had an incredible season last season in League One, along with Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday. Warrington's free kick into the penalty area, headed away by Richards, picked up by Raksaki, 10 yards outside his own penalty area. Can't beat his man, he's tackled, and the ball goes out for a throw into Crystal Palace on the right as Tyreek Wright waits to come back on the field.
There's a good delivery in from the set piece and a wonderful header actually under pressure. Chris Richards doing very well, but again Argyle closing the ball down nice and early, winning the ball back.
Throw in down the right, chested down by Mateta, can't hold on to it. Miller plays the ball into the Plymouth midfield. Edouard pounces on it, wins it for Palace. I think he was caught there. Referee might try and play the advantage, blows the whistle, free kick for Palace. Midway inside the Plymouth half, in the inside right channel, and Riedewald waves the centre backs forward, so James Tompkins and Chris Richards come lumbering forward for Crystal Palace. Tompkins has scored 10 goals in his Palace career. Richards, who's only played 10 times for Crystal Palace, having joined from Bayern Munich at the start of last season for £10 million. Terrible time with injuries last season. So they'll start to make their runs. Riedewald's delivery into the penalty area. Tompkins' header not over the goalkeeper, safely claims it on the goal line. It remains Plymouth 1, Palace 0.
Yeah, they look quite a threat from set pieces, don't they? But Argyle have managed those and dealt with those more than comfortably up till now. But decent header from Tompkins, just not having the power and the accuracy. Thought it was going to possibly loop over the goalkeeper Callum Burton at one point, but very comfortable save in the end.
Last minute of the first half here, bit of added time to come. Long clearance from Burton. For a second there I thought it was going over the head of Sam Johnston and in for a goal for the Plymouth keeper, but he had it covered. He read the bounce, he's collected it, and he's thrown it out to Chris Richards. So we got Doncaster against Everton as our League Cup commentary tomorrow night from 8 o'clock. Johnston plays the ball out from his penalty area, intercepted by Miller inside the Palace half for Plymouth.
You mentioned the two goalkeepers earlier, Ali. Just looking at them back here at the back of the stand, they actually look like two giant highlighters, don't they?
They do. They do. One pink, one orange. Yeah, absolutely right. They do from this distance. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Plymouth leading Crystal Palace through the Ben Waine goal in the 6th minute. But I tell you what, they might fancy another one here. Miller's on the drive forward. Edge of the box, left-footed shot just wide. Thrilling stuff from the Championship team. Just going for the jugular there, and Miller had no hesitation. Saw the opportunity arise, 25 yards out, gave it the hammer and sent it fizzing wide. Franny Benali.
What play this is from Argyle, and we were just waiting for that ball to hit the back of the net, I think, from the side of the stadium where we watched the shot come from. But it was great play, one-touch football. Matt Butcher laying it off, and then it was that Mikael Miller bursting forward, taking the ball forwards, and then that shot just going the wrong side of the post from Argyle's perspective. But wonderful play.
Stoke 4, Rotherham 1, still in the first half. Edouard plays to his left. Ahamada, left-footed shot, just pokes it wide of the near post, behind for a goal kick. Half an opportunity for Palace there. Kessler Hayden gets a high five from his goalkeeper for just putting Ahamada under enough pressure to put him off as he tried to hit the shot. He didn't look convincing, actually. Didn't look like he believed that was going to end up in the back of the net.
No, it never looked that convincing, really, did it? But it was good defending again from Kessler Hayden. But again, just a reminder for Argyle that they've got to concentrate. They just one split lack of concentration can cost them a goal, so they've got to focus.
Half-time at Tranmere Leicester. Betty Glover.
Tranmere 0, Leicester 0. Not quite sure how. Leicester have dominated possession. Albrighton has been swinging them in. Vardy just unable to get a header on goal, but we've had Harry Winks go wide, Dewsbury Hall go over the bar, Kazadeh heading one over too, while Tranmere, who hadn't seen much of the ball in Leicester's area, had 2 shots on target in quick succession. One was Dan Pike, a firing one from 35 yards out, and another was Hawks, but it is 0-0.
We've got about 10-15 seconds remaining in this first half at Home Park. Referee's had a look at the watch, puts the whistle to his lips, and you will hear an enormous roar from the home fans, deservedly so, because Plymouth lead Crystal Palace by 1-0. Well worked goal, came in the 6th minute, floated cross to the far post, nodded back across goal by Callum Wright, and Ben Waine, who scored 2 in the first round to beat Leyton Orient, got the goal here. Palace have had a little look at the Plymouth goal, but Plymouth looks so dangerous coming forward, Franny Benali.
They do, and with respect to both teams, if you said, you know, Argyle were the Premier League side from the football that we've watched, you would believe that. I mean, they've been comfortable, they've been confident, clearly winning the game with the goal that they've scored, but they've looked a threat on many occasions, Ali, haven't they, when they broke forward. Palace might be coming back to that point you made before the game with many changes. I know both sides have made changes, but you know, just being used to playing in a first team competitive game of football with one another might be a little bit of the reason. But as I genuinely feel, the formation and the way that Argyle have gone about this game and the way they've played in that first 45 minutes has caused Palace untold problems.
Let's see what Roy Hodgson decides to do at half time, because Premier League Crystal Palace are behind. Jordan Ayew, Ebere Eze, Jeffrey Schlupp, all sitting on the bench there for Roy Hodgson. But Plymouth deservedly lead here at the break. Plymouth 1, Palace 0.
And it was an absolutely frantic start to the game, and as you said, it's caused Palace all kinds of problems, Franny. I'm just interested in the levels of concentration, that whether Palace make changes or not at half-time, Plymouth are going to have to be so focused for the next 45 minutes, aren't they?
Most definitely, Kelly, yeah, and we've seen it already in this first half. You know, there's still that threat from Crystal Palace, you know, can't underestimate whatsoever that they're still dangerous at times. You know, they had that disallowed goal as well. There's been a few close offsides, there's been a few set pieces that Argyle have had to defend, and they've got quality in their side, clearly being a Premier League football outfit. You know, they've got good players, but they've got the big guns on the bench that, you know, Roy Hodgson could easily call upon. I'd be quite surprised if he made it at half time, but certainly if they're still behind after an hour or so, there's definitely going to be some changes. And we're seeing the players out there at the moment, the Palace players, doing quite a vigorous warm-up, so there could be 1, possibly 2 changes. We'll have to wait and see.
Francis Benali, Alistair Bruce Ball, for now, thank you very much. We'll be back there for the second half, where an upset could be on the cards, and it could be on the cards at Salford. Lee Blakeman.
It is at the moment. Salford 1, Leeds 0. Good work down the left from Garbett. Sent in the cross. Matt Smith, the former Leeds man, rose highest, headed it past the keeper, and Alex Bruce. That makes it Salford 1, Leeds 0.
Yeah, and it was against the run of play, wasn't it? Leeds have had all the play, they've had loads of chances, just haven't worked the goalkeeper. They're here on the left-hand side now with Nonto, and Salford have defended it well with Shepherd in the middle of the park. But yeah, a lovely, well-worked goal from Salford. A good ball in from Garbett on the left-hand side, and there's Matt Smith to put in the header. And with someone of Matt's size, he's always going to cause problems in the box, and he's proved it once again there.
Just a quick word on the person who's running the show down the other end before that, Nonto, absolutely superb on the Leeds left.
Yes, he is. Nonto and Somerville as well on the right-hand side. They've been lively, very, very lively. They've created all kinds of problems for Salford. It's been defence versus attack for a lot of the game. The goal certainly came against the run of play, but from a Leeds point of view, they'll just be disappointed they haven't worked the goalkeeper enough.
The upset is on at the moment, Kelly. Matt Smith making it Salford 1, Leeds 0.
Thank you very much, Lee Blakeman and Alex Bruce. They'll keep us up to date with everything that's happening in that game. Half-time whistle has gone at Fulham. John Hunt.
And Fulham deservedly lead the half-time by a 0-0. The goal coming on 20 minutes after fantastic work by captain Tom Kearney. Harrison Reid went to try and tuck it home. He missed it, but unfortunately for the defender, Mickey van der Ven, he didn't. It hit the inside of his left foot, and Ivan Perisic couldn't keep it out. So that was the goal. Aside from that, it's all been Fulham, with Rodrigo Muniz being a real thorn in Spurs' side tonight. He had a header wide early, then a shot saved by Fraser Foster, but right on half-time, Muniz's header looked to be goal-bound. What a save that was from Fraser Foster way down to his right-hand side. They could have been in deeper trouble, but as it is, Tottenham lead by just a 0-0, and it's interesting, Kelly, that up front, looking very bemused, is Richarlison. He can see that Son and Maddison and Kulusevski are all on the bench. He badly needs them. Spurs not really in this. Fulham 1, Tottenham 0.
Been a very quiet first 45 minutes for Tottenham. So Fulham leading, as John was telling us, at half-time. Half-time whistle also gone at Newport. Chris Coles.
Where it's Newport 0, Brentford 0. The Premier League side dominant for the most part, patient possession, the odd threatening ball into the box, but they're not really carving out big opportunities. Keane Lewis Potter with the best. His header cleared off the line. Newport ended the half very encouragingly. Harry Charsley guiding a header from 6 yards just wide. Big chance, not taken, and we're level at Newport 0, Brentford 0.
Thank you very much. And it had been a miserable start to the Premier League season for Wolves, but it looks like they're having a good week all round. Charlie Slater.
Yeah, they'll be encouraged by this. Wolves 2, Blackpool 0. The 2-division gap apparent all over the pitch. In front through Sasha Kalajdzic after 10 minutes. That's 2-2 for him. Fabio Silva doubled their lead 15 minutes later. His first Wolves goal for over 2 years. Blackpool's Kenny Dougal hit the post. Otherwise, they haven't threatened. It's 2-0 at the break.
Thank you very much. And it's half-time at Luton. John Southall.
And it's the same scoreline here. Luton 2, League 2, Gillingham 0. All fairly comfortable really for Luton. The opening goal after just 2 minutes. Jacob Brown on his full debut on the left of the penalty area planted it into the bottom right hand corner. The second was an absolute beauty. Alfie Doughty must have been 30 yards out. Free kick was just touched to him and he whipped it in with his left foot into the top left hand corner. An absolutely brilliant goal. He's been really good, Doughty, in this first half, and he must be pushing for a Premier League start on Friday against West Ham. As for Gillingham, a couple of long-range efforts, both over the crossbar, and at half-time, back in their new surroundings, Luton lead Gillingham by 2-0.
And home advantage counting for Sheffield Wednesday as well. Naz Premji.
Sheffield Wednesday 1, Mansfield Town 0. Xisco Munoz's side lead, and deservedly so. Callum Patterson with the assist from the left side, and former Monaco man Anthony Musaba with a header 6 yards out into the bottom right corner. Josh Windass had further efforts, and Christy Pym in the Mansfield goal equal to them, but in injury time he beat the Mansfield keeper and saw a thunderous strike from distance, cannon off the crossbar. At the break, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Mansfield Town 0.
And it's half-time at Bolton. Rob Law.
Yes, Bolton 1, Middlesbrough 1. Ian Everett's side with the opening goal midway through the first half. A shot from Josh Sheehan inside the box. It was spilled by the Borough goalkeeper into the path of Dion Charles, who was able to slip the ball in from close range for his fourth of the season. But Michael Carrick's side reacted well, and their persistence paid off. Paddy McNair fed the run of Matt Crooks on the edge of the area, just opened up for him. He lifted the ball over the Bolton goalkeeper beautifully into the back of the net. Hayden Hackney could have made it 2-1 Borough right at the end of the first half, but well saved by Coleman. Bolton 1, Borough 1.
It was a 7:30 kickoff at Swansea, so they're back underway for the second half with Aaron Paul.
Yeah, 51 minutes played here. Swansea 1, Bournemouth 0. Matt Grimes' penalty kick still the only divider between these two sides. The Bournemouth boss, Andoni Iraola, has wasted no time in trying to turn things around. He's made a triple change at the break with Rothwell, Moore and Kelly all off. Milos Kerkez, Lewis Cook and Dominic Solanke replaced them. Can they get Bournemouth back into this contest? It is Swansea 1, Bournemouth 0.
Thank you very much for that. So let's run you through the rest of the scores. Birmingham being beaten 1-0 at home by Cardiff City at half-time. Half-time, Bristol City and Norwich are playing at a goalless draw. At Exeter, they are 1-0 up against Stevenage. Newport County 0, Brentford 0, as we've heard. Port Vale 0, Crewe 0. Portsmouth 0, Peterborough 1. Stoke 4, Rotherham 1. Tranmere 0, Leicester 0. Wolves 2, Blackpool 0, Wrexham 0, Bradford 1, Wycombe 0, Sutton 1, Reading 1, Ipswich 0, and that brings us up to date. You're up to date because you've had updates from all the rest of them, and that's how it works. We will keep you up to date with everything that's happening in the EFL Cup second round throughout the evening here. Remember, we have 2 commentary matches, one of them taking place at Plymouth, who are 1-0 up against Crystal Palace, and you can also listen to Fulham, who are leading Tottenham by 1-0 on Sports Extra. We'll round up the rest of the day's sports news as well after the BBC News with Dan Maudsley.
This is 5 Live Sport with Kelly Cates
on 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Hello, welcome back to 5 Live Sport. Coming up, the second half commentary of Plymouth against Crystal Palace in the second round of the EFL Cup. Can Plymouth hold on to that 1-goal advantage? Francis Benali and Alistair Bruce-Ball will be back with us very shortly. But before then, we check in at Swansea, where there's been another goal. Aaron Paul.
Swansea 1, Bournemouth 1, equaliser of the visitors, and this is a really good goal, Kelly. Jayden Anthony with a lush through ball into David Brooks on the right-hand side. He fired the ball past Carl Rushworth into the corner of the net. All square here. Swansea 1, Bournemouth 1.
We'll keep you up to date with all the scores this evening. Right now on 5 Live Sport, we're going back to Home Park for the second half of Plymouth against Crystal Palace with Francis Benali and Alistair Bruce-Ball.
Kelly, I have to say that clip has reeled me in. I'm listening to that now on the way home. Definitely. How can Brian Obana have Francois Pienaar at 7? I'm doing that. That'll be on BBC Sounds for me on the way home. Franny Benali sitting alongside me. Crystal Palace are out. We've already had a look, Franny. They're 1-0 down against Plymouth, and we think Plymouth deservedly ahead. At the moment, Roy Hodge doesn't look like has made any changes as yet, so he's going to give the 11 that started maybe another 10-15 minutes to try and make a difference here.
Exactly that, Ali. I would imagine if he hasn't made that change yet, he'll give them that little bit longer just to hopefully have the half-time team talk take effect and put right what they've struggled with in the first half so far. But yeah, they're going to have to certainly step things up from what we've seen in the first 45 minutes, and then he's got the option to bring on some of the more regular players should it not pan out as he wants to in the opening 10 minutes or so. You
can probably tell from the noise that Plymouth have arrived for the second half, decked out in dark green with gold trim on the kits. Referee Dean Whitestone is there and ready to go. Just to tell you about another couple of the podcasts, offering so many brilliant podcasts for you on the BBC Sounds app. Football Daily, of course, always there for you. Best reaction, debate, analysis after a night's football like tonight. Every day of the week, Football Daily available on the BBC Sounds app. And just to give the old Fantasy 606 podcast its regular push as well. That's not too bad either. Out every Thursday. If you're a fantasy football manager, or even if you're not, I recommend it. Give it a listen. Salford Leeds half-time. Lee Blakeman.
What a half. Salford 1, Leeds 0. It was all Leeds for half an hour with Nonto creating so much, but 10 before the break, Garbutt cross from the left, Matt Smith with the header, 1-0 Salford. They could have had 2 more after that, but Leeds continuing to threaten at the same time. What a game. Salford 1, Leeds 0.
Thanks, Lee. Second half underway then. Plymouth leading Crystal Palace by 1-0. So Premier League trails Championship. Bournemouth, of course, have got back into their game at Swansea. David Brooks with the equaliser, 1-1 there. Cross comes into the Palace penalty area. So Plymouth on the front foot straight away. Luke Cundle thinks about a shot. Oh, what a goal! What a goal from Luke Cundle! Whips it in with his right foot from 25 yards out. As soon as he got hold of that ball, you could see what he was going to do. He's hit it perfectly. He's hit it sweetly. And Plymouth
Plymouth lead Crystal Palace by 2-0. What a strike!
What a goal indeed, Ali. This goal would actually grace any football pitch, any football stadium, wherever. What a goal, and absolutely amazing. I mean, it was great play from Argyle in the first place. It was Mikel Miller, I think, that broke forward, the ball into the box. Palace deal with that, but then it breaks out to Kundal. What a strike this is. This is one that you've got to see.
We were just chatting at half-time about Plymouth coming up into the Championship and what Stephen Schumacher has done with the squad and spent a bit of money. Plymouth has spent a bit of money this summer, big money really for a club like Plymouth, on a couple of guys that are actually sitting on the bench tonight, like Barley Mumba and Morgan Whittaker, but they've also got players in on loan, young players in on loan. We've talked a lot about Kane Kessler-Hayden at right back this evening, but Kundal's another one on loan from Wolves. Here he is, making things happen. He scored that fabulous goal, and now he's got Plymouth attacking again down the right. Gets the ball back to goal, corner of the area, and plays it to Tyreek Wright. But those are good signings, and I know it's early days, and I know I'm saying it straight after the back of him whipping one into the top corner, but he's looked good this evening.
Of course, yeah, he has, like many have, to be honest, Ali. They've looked very comfortable and more than, not out their depth whatsoever, and it's bringing the right players in as well, I think, isn't it? For what obviously Schumacher wants his team to play as well in key positions. He's got that little bit of money that they've spent as well, which is a lot. Obviously, as John was saying earlier at half-time, for a club like Argyle, but it's progress and it's taken them in the right direction, and then they're playing it in a style of football that is brilliant to watch.
That has got this place absolutely, I mean, it was already jumping, it's really jumping now. Plymouth 2, Palace 0. His first goal for the club, Luke Kundal, on loan from Wolves, on loan at Swansea last season, so knows the level, is used to the division, has scored a stunner tonight. Have a listen to this now inside Home Park. Plymouth won, I was going to say a corner, that's gone behind for a goal kick. Ipswich have an equaliser late in the first half away at Reading. Cameron Humphreys has scored to make it Reading 1, Ipswich 1. Ipswich, of course, coming up with Plymouth last season and have also started life well in the Championship, playing some good football, beaten at home by Leeds at the weekend, first defeat of the season, but have got themselves back level this evening. Right, Roy Hodgson and Crystal Palace, how do you respond to this? You're 2-0 down against a vibrant, exciting young Plymouth team. Stephen Schumacher having made 9 changes to his side tonight. Palace have won a throw on the right. So the Palace team, Sam Johnston in goal. Nathaniel Klein's just taken the throw at right back. Tompkins and Chris Richards, the 2 centre-backs. Tyreek Mitchell at left back. Riedewald, Lerma, Ahmada, midfield 3. Raksaki, the 20-year-old wide on the right-hand side. Odson Edouard in support of Jean-Philippe Mateta. And Plymouth have Callum Burton in goal. Kessler-Hayden, Scar, Plaget Swalo and Mikel Miller as their back 4. Kundal, Warrington and Butcher, the midfield 3. Luke Kundal with that wonderful moment a couple of minutes ago. Tyreek Wright and Callum Wright playing either side of the other goal scorer, Ben Waine. 4 minutes into the second half, and here's Mateta with his back to goal. That goal came, Kundal strike, 31 seconds, I'm told, into that second half. So they came flying out of the traps again. Palace won a free kick there. No, they haven't. So Plymouth will try and profit and catch Palace out as they come forward. Outspeed, Callum Wright, support on the outside from Miller. Always a willing runner down the left. Crosses in low with his left foot, deflected across the face of goal and behind for a corner to Plymouth. I mean, at the moment, and I know it's very early in the second half, but the next goal at the moment you see coming from Plymouth again. Yeah,
very dangerous attack down the left-hand side from Argyle again, wasn't it? And balls into the box like that are a nightmare for defenders. They're running back towards their own goal, and it can just take a little touch like we saw there that can end up in the back of the net very, very easily, but they've got a corner to defend.
Norwich one up at Bristol City in the League Cup this evening. Corner fizzed into the near post, headed away, and Raksaki just with a first time half volley clearance up to the halfway line. Kessler-Hayden taking no chances, immediately side foots it back to his goalkeeper Burton, who's got to run wide to his left, not as strong on his left foot clearly, clears it away first time, doesn't make the halfway line, and out it goes for a throw in to Palace, who absolutely have to score the next goal in this game if they're serious about trying to stay in this competition this season. No extra time in any of the second round ties tonight, so any ties that are level go straight to penalties. We're on air through until 10:30. US Open tennis over on Sports Extra from 10 o'clock, and Colin Murray will pick up from us with his late night conversations from 10:30 on 5 Live this evening. Plymouth 2, Palace 0. Plymouth break up another Palace attack. Cundall lays it back into midfield. It's Kessler Hayden again. Comes screaming forward. They can't deal with him, Palace, and Chris Richards just has to shove him to the floor. That's the only way they can stop him. Free kick Plymouth.
But it's what he did in the first half as well, Ali, wasn't it? Bursting through from that right side of the pitch, but he's ended up winning the foul literally on the edge of the centre circle in the middle of the pitch. You know, his driving runs into the middle of the park has been so hard for Crystal Palace to deal with.
Warrington, the 20-year-old on loan from Everton in central midfield for Plymouth. Callum Wright can't quite keep it for the home team. Lerma looks for the 1-2 with Raksaki up to Mateta. Mateta comes bouncing off the defender, brings the ball back into his own half. Huge, tall, lanky figure, strokes the pass with his left foot in between 3 teammates. So they've given the ball away, and back it goes to the Plymouth goalkeeper, Callum Burton. So we've got Swansea 1, Bournemouth 1 in the 7:30 kickoff. Fulham leading Tottenham by a goal to 0. Commentary of that one is over on Sports Extra. Got to keep an eye on Plymouth as they play out from the back. Actually, I was just about to rattle through a couple more scores, but when you take chances like that, anything can happen at any moment.
Well, it's great to watch, and it shows the confidence that they have as well, and how the manager wants them to play. But you're right, Ali, it only takes one slight mistake and you can end up with the ball in the back of your net.
Well, there we go. Burton's given the ball away. He was looking for an ambitious pass. Redeval into Edouard. Edouard shoots, drags it wide. That'll be a goal kick for Plymouth. Newport and Brentford still goalless. Wolves 2 up on Blackpool. Another goal at Swansea though, Aaron Paul.
Swansea 1, Bournemouth 2, just minutes after having a strike ruled out for offside. Hamed Troyer has put Bournemouth ahead. Cross from the right, Dominic Solanke's header from the middle, hit the post, bounced out to Troyer, who smashed home. Swansea 1, Bournemouth 2.
Plymouth continue to play out from the back. Premier League, Luton lead Gillingham by 2 goals to 0. Sheffield Wednesday 1 up on Mansfield. Tranmere and Leicester still goalless. Bolton 1, Middlesbrough 1. And Salford leading Leeds 1-0. Those are our featured games this evening. Plenty of other games going on in the second round of the competition tonight. Plymouth continue to knock it about. Franny spotting a double change coming for Crystal Palace. Unsurprisingly, Eze and Ayew both about to come on. In fact, it's going to be a triple change, so we'll have a look at that in a second. There's been a goal at Tranmere, but hang on a second. Plymouth again, cross in. Oh, just over the header right. Could so easily have been 3-0. Betty, what's happened?
It is Tranmere 0, Leicester 1. Tranmere have had the better start to this second half, but it's Leicester with the breakthrough. Wilfred Ndidi, who took the shot from outside the area, hit the post and rolled over the line. As simple as that. Tranmere 0, Leicester 1.
So I think it's going to be Ayew, Eze, Schlupp. 3 regular first teamers about to be thrown into the fray for Crystal Palace. Mateta doing his best to make something happen. Gets away from Warrington, edge of the area. Again, it's a hopeful pass with his left foot, not the best ball, and dealt with by Plymouth. Miller brings it down. Callum Wright in the left back position. Ball on his right foot. Little dink pass. Lovely movement from Warrington to get away from Edouard. Perfect pass forward. Wonderful football again from the home team. Fans on their feet as Luke Cundall gets on the ball again. Plays it to his right to Tyreek Wright. Wright's ball with pace and purpose into the edge of the box. Butcher can't quite make it happen. Wayne on the turn. Tackled by Chris Richards. And out it goes for a throw into Plymouth.
It's interesting, Ali. I was just fascinated when they went 2-0 up how Plymouth Argyle would approach this game. Would they then sit back and look to keep this as a 2-0 lead, or are they going to still keep going forward and look to get a third goal? From what we've seen so far, this is very, very open still, but wonderful play, playing the ball out right from their own defensive third, and they've won themselves is it throw-in or corner?
Throw-in.
Yep.
Throw-in almost down by the corner flag on the right.
But they're making those changes, Crystal Palace now.
Yeah. So, Redevalt's coming off, Eze's coming on, Raksaki's coming off, Ayew's coming on, and while we look for details of the third change, John Hunt's going to save our bacon and tell us what's going on at Crayford Cottage.
Well, it's still Fulham 1, Tottenham 0. Kenny Tette's just gone right off the pitch to change a ripped boot. He's disappeared down the tunnel. Hopefully we'll see him again. But Tottenham have only made one change so far. Lo Celso off. 19-year-old Dane Scarlett is on. Scarlett scored 6 goals for Portsmouth last year. He's not made much impact so far, though. Still, Fulham 1, Tottenham 0.
Ahamada, the other player, thank you, John, to come off for Palace, and the last sub, Jeffrey Schlupp, comes on. Quickly to Newport Brentford, Chris Coles.
League 2 still holding Premier League. Newport 0, Brentford 0. Brentford have clicked back into their rhythmic possession, but still relatively unthreatening. Newport's threats on the counter-attack and the long ball. Newport 0, Brentford 0.
So triple change made by Crystal Palace, 2-0 down away to Plymouth here. in the Carabao Cup second round. Full commentary of Doncaster Rovers against Everton. Kicks off at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. 4 other ties tomorrow night we'll keep you updated on. Chelsea against Wimbledon, Sheffield United at home to Lincoln, Nottingham Forest host Burnley, and it's Harrogate against Blackburn. Back to Craven Cottage, John Hunt.
Equaliser for Tottenham. Michael McIntyre, the comedian's in the crowd. He enjoyed this goal. Good work from Perisic with a long cross down from the Tottenham left, and on the far post, who else but Richarlison to nod home. It's Fulham 1, Tottenham 1, and Tete was still off the pitch with that broken boot at the time of the goal.
Portsmouth 1, Peterborough 1. Portsmouth have equalised. Another goal at Tranmere, Betty Glover.
It is Tranmere 0, Leicester 2. Leicester on a roll now. They've clicked into place after some nice play up the right-hand side. The ball is flung into the area and Jamie Vardy's there to make it 2-0, a header at the far post. Tranmere 0, Leicester 2.
Here's Mateta on the ball for Crystal Palace. White shirts, diagonal blue sash, light blue sash across the front of the shirt, light blue shorts and white socks. You can hear the support for the home team. They played brilliantly tonight. Plymouth leading Crystal Palace by 2-0. Some atmosphere here. What's happening at Molineux? Charlie Slater.
Wolves 2, Blackpool 0, 57 on the clock. Not the same sort of atmosphere here. I think the Wolves faithful very confident that they're going to make safe passage through to the third round of the EFL Cup. Just one sub made. Joseph Hodge off. Looks like he's pulled his hamstring for the home side. Still 2-0.
Luton Gillingham, John Southall.
Luton 2, Gillingham 0. The Gillingham fans making plenty of noise as they have done all night, and their side with more intent in this second half. Timothy Dieng just had a shot blocked from 12 yards, but Luton 2, Gillingham 0.
Crystal Palace trailing Plymouth 2-0. Eze on the dribble, trying to make it happen for Palace across the face of the box, lays it off to Ayew. One of the other substitutes drives the cross in. Oh! And rifled in by Edouard at the far post. Plymouth appeal in vain for an offside. Fabulous finish by Edouard. The cross was hit with some pace by Ayew, and Crystal Palace are back in the tie. The triple change has worked. Plymouth 2, Palace 1.
Well, and it was 2 of the substitutes that have come on recently that made that difference to Crystal Palace in that move there. Eze dribbling across, picking the ball up on the left-hand side, running across 1 or 2 Plymouth Argyle defenders, plays the ball wide to Ayew, then the ball is whipped into the far post for Edouard to poke it home from close range. Now we've got a game of football on.
Nice meaty volley from Edouard, read it well and thumped it into the top corner. So Plymouth 2, Palace 1. Odsonne Edouard's second goal of the season for Crystal Palace. Regular starter up front for them in this campaign. Matt Butcher flicks the ball forward for Plymouth, headed away by Chris Richards. Another goal at Luton, John Southall.
We said they were showing intent. Gillingham have got one back. Luton 2, Gillingham 1. Jayden Clark did brilliantly, cut inside the defender on the left of the area and finished into the bottom right-hand corner in front of the delirious Gillingham fans. Luton 2, Gillingham 1.
Remember, no extra time tonight. If it's level after 90 minutes, we head to penalties. Crystal Palace with the bit between their teeth, attacking down the left-hand side. Tyreek Mitchell's cross deflected and behind for a corner. Quickly to Hillsborough, Naz Premji.
Wednesday 1, Mansfield 0. Barry Bannon's corner. Ihekwa with a header palmed away by Pym, and Windass as well has had another effort at goal. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Mansfield 0.
Stoke 5, Rotherham 1 in the League Cup tonight. Birmingham down to 10 men, trailing Cardiff at home by 1-0. Lucas Jutkovic has been sent off for Birmingham. Corner for Crystal Palace. Vicious in-swinger, and Scar heads it over his own bar. Slight confusion between him and the goalkeeper Callum Burton, but they're quite happy afterwards with the end result, and Crystal Palace have themselves another corner. So suddenly Palace are enjoying their best spell in this game so far. Edouard, who's got them back in it. Another corner's going to come in from the left. This one's a little bit deeper. Real whip and curl on it. The ball's headed straight up in the air. Bounces down in the Plymouth box. Palace players appealing for a handball in there. Referee waves those claims away. Another cross comes in from Ayew, swinging in deep from the right. Volleyed in towards the 6-yard box by Eze. That is blocked, and Plymouth bring it away. They lead Crystal Palace 2-1. Goal at Molineux, Charlie Slater.
An hour gone here. Wolves 3, Blackpool 0. This one's a bit romantic. Matt Doherty on his first start back at the club that he came through the youth system at, with a header off the underside of the crossbar and into the back of the net. Sarabia involved in all 3 goals. 3-0 Wolves.
Palace come again, down the left. Mitchell's prompting pass, finds Eze. Eze's got himself in a one-on-one with Tyreek Wright, beats him on the outside, finds Mateta, who scored. Crystal Palace are back level in a matter of minutes.
The substitutions have made all the difference. Lovely skill from Eze. He saw he was up against another striker there, took him on, beat him on the outside, and Mateta couldn't miss. Plymouth 2, Palace 2.
Well, what a turnaround this is, and as you say, the substitutes are making such a difference. It's Eze, he's just lining them up, dribbling the ball into the box, and then he changes the pace. It's not good defending from Plymouth Argyle. They've got numbers in there, they've got defenders in there, but Mateta's the one that the ball ends up going to, and he tucks it home from close range.
I said couldn't miss, he nearly missed.
Really? That would have been some miss had he missed.
Yeah, Burton made himself big. It was very, very close range, deflected off the goalkeeper and in. Right. We have a cup tie on our hands. Plymouth 2, Palace 2. Palace really have turned things around. Bolton Middlesbrough last we heard was level. Rob Law.
And it's still level. Bolton had to change their goalkeeper at half time though. Joel Coleman took a heavy knock in the first half, replaced by regular number 1 Nathan Baxter, yet to be tested by Middlesbrough, who have upped the tempo though. Still Middlesbrough at 1, Bolton 1.
Palace scything through the middle. Schlupp plays in Mateta. 3-2 to the Premier League team. It's a stunning turnaround. Lovely ball from Jeffrey Schlupp. Mateta rifles it home, and the substitutions are just Premier League quality, and that's made the difference for Crystal Palace. They have all played their part in the triple change, and Palace has scored 3 goals. Plymouth 2, Palace 3.
Well, is it a combination of Palace and the changes and the substitutes, or are Plymouth Argyle just shell-shocked? I think it's a bit of both, to be honest. They need to regroup and gather the Plymouth Argyle players. They can't concede another goal. They've got to try and stay in this game now. But what a turnaround from Crystal Palace, and that was a thumping drive from Mateta to score his second in a matter of minutes.
Right, and we need to work out exactly how many minutes that has happened in, because Ayew, Eze and Schlupp all came on at the same time. Crystal Palace were 2-0 down at that point. Blink and basically they're 3-2 up.
Yeah, I think they came on. Substitutions were made around about 55 minutes, I think I had it at. But yeah, if that is the case, it's 6 to 7 minutes where they've scored 3 goals.
Yeah, absolutely right. Coming on in the 55th and 56th minutes, Edouard scored in the 59th. Mateta has scored in the 61st. And then the latest goal that's just gone in 62nd. So it's happened in the space of 6 or 7 minutes. Yes, Mateta's second goal in the 62nd minute. Well, that is a whirlwind turnaround from Crystal Palace. So let's see where we go from here. Plymouth 2, Palace 3. Tompkins trying to make a tackle. This is inside the Palace half on the left. Plymouth win the throw. Callum Wright takes it quickly. Goal at Swansea, Aaron Paul.
Equaliser, Swansea 2, Bournemouth 2. This is a speculative effort from Jamie Patterson, but he's struck gold from the edge of the area, just fired a daisy cutter, and it's trickled in to the back of the Bournemouth net. Swansea 2, Bournemouth 2, game on.
Howard Gillingham getting on at Luton, John Southall.
Well, Ali, what a different game this is now. Luton 2, Gillingham 1. Gillingham should have equalised. Nadesan got the other side of Amari Bell. Shot saved by the legs of Tim Krul from the corner. Macaulay Bonne 8 yards out, unmarked, leaning back over the bar. Should have scored. Luton 2, Gillingham 1.
Plymouth 2, Palace 3. Jean-Philippe Mateta with 2. Odsonne Edouard with the other one. Suddenly gone a little bit quiet inside Home Park. 25 minutes to play. Eze on the ball, teasing Plymouth defenders, just dragging them out of position. Plays the pass back here to Schlupp. Schlupp uses a bit of pace to get away on the left. Nice pass from him. Cut back comes here. Oh, Ayew thought about the first time shot. Takes a touch. Dummies. Right-footed effort deflected over the bar. Nearly 4-2.
Yeah, I think, was it Scar? I think got a block just sliding in, deflecting off his back to go for a corner, but Palace look really, really dangerous now. Those goals in a matter of minutes has just completely flipped this cup tie on its head, and it looks like Palace are the side that are going to be the ones that score the next goal in the way the game's going so far.
3 goals in 4 minutes after the triple change. 58th, 61st, 62nd. That is how it happened. Crash, bang, wallop.
Incredible. You know, I've been in a game where you've conceded goals quickly, and it's like you're shell-shocked. So the Argyle players have just got to regroup and stay in the match.
Corner to defend. Eze's delivery headed away by Plegat Swalo. Ayew's there first for Crystal Palace. Plays back into his own half. Tyrick Mitchell across the halfway line. Klein to his right finds Eze, who looks an absolutely class act out here, striding around and controlling things, barely breaking sweat. Latest at Craven Cottage, John Hunt.
Fulham 1, Tottenham 1. We've played 65 minutes. Fulham probably should have been ahead though. Bobby Decordova-Reid was just put through deep into the area. He just misjudged his shot, allowed the ball to run too far in front of him and spurned it wide. Big chance for Fulham has gone astray. Fulham 1, Tottenham 1.
Commentary continues on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Charlie Slater's seen another goal at Molineux.
66 on the clock. Wolves 4, Blackpool 0. Doherty again, his first start back for the football club that, as I say, he came through the youth ranks and it was set up by a teenager. Full circle it goes. Lovely little finish at the near post. 4-0 to Wolves.
I'll run you down all the latest scores in just a second. Got to keep an eye on Palace coming forward again. Eze and Mateta with a 1-2. They wanted the run from Klein on the outside. He hadn't quite read that, and Callum Wright is back there to clear for Plymouth. Miller takes a touch. Ayew wrestles him off the ball. It goes out for a throw into Palace on the right. Swansea 2, Bournemouth 2. Cardiff 1 up at Birmingham. Bolton 1, Middlesbrough 1. Norwich 1 up at Bristol City. Exeter leading Stevenage by a goal to nil. As John Hunt was just telling us, Fulham 1, Tottenham 1. Luton Town 2, Gillingham 1. Gillingham getting a goal back in that one. Newport and Brentford still goalless. What else have we got? Port Vale and Crewe goalless. Portsmouth 1, Peterborough 1. Sheffield Wednesday leading Mansfield by a goal to nil. Stoke, their home and host, 5-1 up on Rotherham. Tranmere 0, Leicester 2. Wolves, as we heard Charlie say, 4-0 up on Blackpool now as Callum Burton clears with his right foot the Plymouth keeper. Wrexham 0, Bradford 1. Bradford scored early in that one. Sutton United still 1 up at Wycombe. Reading 1, Ipswich 1, kicked off at 8. And Salford City of League 2 leading Leeds United by a goal to nil. That one also kicked off at 8 o'clock. So with a quarter of all these games remaining tonight, you are up to date with all the goals that have happened so far this evening. And Crystal Palace have very much taken the sting out of this. First time ball round the corner for Eze. Plymouth yet to make their changes, but they're coming. So they're going to make a triple change, and let's see what happens with that one. Klein goes in for the 50-50 here on Miller. Good battle between those two. Klein's on the floor, gets a foot on the ball. Oh, that's brilliant from Eze. Brilliant from Eze. Dropped the shoulder and then knocked the ball through the legs of Callum Wright and brings it away for Palace. Ayew with the step over. Ayew heading for the byline on the right hand side. Butcher's got to be careful with the tackle. Scoops the cross in. It's a weak cross and it's caught by Callum Burton. So Newport Brentford, as I said, still goalless, Chris Coles.
It is still goalless, Ali, but Brentford hoping their triple change can be equally as effective as Crystal Palace's. 3 of the big hitters off the bench, Johan Visser, Matthias Jensen and Brian Mburmo. The latter has just had a good shot, well saved by Johnny Maxted, but still Newport 0, Brentford 0.
Plymouth's best 2 players so far this season coming on the field and had such a big impact last season as well. Barley Mumba and Morgan Whittaker about to come on, as well as Finn Azaz, who's on loan from Aston Villa again. So 3 players who had a big impact last season about to try and make an important impact tonight, because Plymouth had control of this game. Luke Cundle's stunner right at the start of the second half had them 2-0 up, and Stephen Schumacher has watched that disappear in the blink of an eye, but there's still time to turn it around and there's still some real quality to come on the field. Franny, it's been absolutely breathtaking this evening, isn't it?
Fascinating game of football. A brilliant start. Deserved leaders, Argyle in the first half. The second goal to go 2-0 up was just world class. What a strike that was. Brilliant for any game of football. But then after those substitutions, the 3 substitutions that Roy Hodgson made in a matter of minutes to turn things around, being 2 down to then be leading 3-2. Incredible.
Right, here come the 3 changes for Plymouth then. Luke Cundle is the first to come off here, and Morgan Whittaker is going to come on. Now then, there's been a goal at Kenilworth Road. Which way's this gone, John Southall?
It's gone to the Premier League side. Luton 3, Gillingham 1. Cooley Woodrow on the right of the area. Really good finish into the top left-hand corner. Luton 3, Gillingham 1.
Thank you, John. Standing ovation for the scorer of that second brilliant goal for Plymouth. Luke Cundle is coming off. Who else is coming off for Plymouth here? Let's check in at Salford Leeds while Plymouth make the changes. Lee Blakeman.
Still Salford 1, Leeds 0. Leeds have had a soft penalty appeal waved away after Nonto went down in the area, but then Salford could have made it 2. Milan shooting from the edge of the area, off target. Still Salford 1, Leeds 0.
Mikael Miller's come off, playing left back for Plymouth tonight. Barley Mumba has come on, left-sided attacker. Tyreek Wright, the right-sided attacker, has come off to be replaced by Finn Azaz. Triple change is never easy, Franny, I have to say.
You did it very well, Ali.
Well,
we managed it between us.
Only because you and John are standing there pointing at names and numbers. Teamwork makes the dream work. 20 minutes to play. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Been a great night of League Cup football so far. More drama to come. Mateta stands across up to the far post. Eze can't get there. Chested behind by Kesler Hayden. Plymouth, I still think are going to get a chance to level this game up. I don't think they're going to disappear in this game.
No, for sure. I mean, those changes that they've just made as well, there's plenty of time still left in this game of football. They've just got to stay in the game and not concede again. Just regather their thoughts more than anything else, because certainly everyone was shell-shocked by those 3 goals.
There's a low corner. Mumba's there. First touch of the game for him is a block at the near post, and it goes behind for a corner again to Crystal Palace. So 10-man Birmingham and now 2-0 down at home to Cardiff. Jutkovic sent off. Ryan Wintle has got a second goal for Cardiff in confirmation, as John Southall was just saying, of Luton's third from Corley Woodrow. It's just popped up on the video printer here. Luton 3, Gillingham 1. Corner for Palace. Deep one to the far post. Headed back across goal. Tompkins tries to hit it first time, and Edouard smashes it over the bar from 6 yards out. There was a deflection on it, and it's gone behind for another corner. I think we've got time for a quick visit to Craven Cottage. John Hunt.
Yeah, just to let you know, Fulham 1, Tottenham 1, but Ange Postecoglou has just made a triple substitution himself. On comes Son, on comes Sarr, on comes Kulichevsky. Spurs trying to up the ante. Fulham 1, Tottenham 1.
Commentary of that one over on Sports Extra. Corner for Palace, leading 3-2. Dangerous one. Scar heads it away for Plymouth. Mitchell gets underneath it, tumbles as he wins the header. Plymouth coming on the break. Plymouth fans like this. 4 against 4 at the moment, and space is opening up on the right hand side. Can they pick the right pass? Oh, it's hit Callum right on the chest. He couldn't control it. I'm not sure it was necessarily meant for him, the pass, because Barley Mumba was screwing up on the left as well. But here he is now, real danger man. Ball at his feet, rolls it here to Kesler Hayden. Kesler Hayden to the edge of the box. Whittaker, left-footed shot, dragged well wide. He wants a corner, gets a corner. Referee saw a touch, so Plymouth have a corner. They trail Crystal Palace 3-2.
That's better from Argyle, isn't it? As you say, they're going to get that opportunity to come back into the game, and it was a really dangerous looking counter-attack there. They had their numbers, maybe not the quality on the delivery into the box, but they've won themselves a corner.
Franny Benali with us here at Home Park. Birmingham 1, Cardiff 2. 10-man Birmingham immediately back into the game. Scott Hogan has scored there. Corner for Plymouth, all in dark green. In it comes. Edwards flick on for Palace, away and outside the penalty area. Barley Mumba, 25 yards out. Sweet curler from Whittaker just over the bar. Sam Johnston had it covered though, I think, and it's gone behind for the Palace goal kick. Just a quick one actually, Franny. We were talking about this before the game. Sam Johnston, Palace's regular number 1. Dean Henderson on the way. That's serious competition for his place, isn't it?
For sure, yeah, and it's one of those positions, Ali, isn't it, that goalkeepers, that clearly want to be a number 1. It's not one of those positions that really gets changed often, is it? So if you're bringing someone in, it's got to be real competition for who's there, or you're bringing them in for a change. So it's fascinating to see that kind of rivalry.
It's interesting you mention that, actually, because that immediately makes me think of Ramsdale and the David Raya signing at Arsenal. I think it's a really interesting one on that front, on what sort of, I mean, he's obviously bolstering his squad there, but what that says to Ramsdale and what Mikel Arteta is hoping to get out of that. Arsenal, of course, not involved in the League Cup at this stage of the competition. They'll be involved in the next round. Plymouth 2, Palace 3, heading towards the last 15 minutes of this game. Loads of fabulous football commentaries on the way for you at the weekend as well. On Saturday, 3 o'clock, full commentary on Burnley against Tottenham. Tottenham at the moment being held at Fulham in the League Cup tonight. Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton will bring you commentary and all the goals as they go in our usual 3 o'clock service on Saturday. Brighton Newcastle looks like a corker. We got full commentary on that one, 5:30 on Saturday, and then a triple bill on Sunday. Rangers Celtic at 12, Liverpool Villa at 2, Arsenal Manchester United at 4:30. Ball down the right for Jordan Ayew to chase, getting away from Matt Butcher. Chance for Palace to possibly kill this. Ayew takes a touch, cross comes in. Oh, it falls to Eze at the second attempt, but the ball hits him. He wasn't ready for it, and it rolls into the arms of Callum Burton. Goal at Swansea, Aaron Paul.
Swansea 2, Bournemouth 3, just as the board went up for 7 minutes of added on time. Ryan Christie may have clinched this one for the Premier League side. A sweeping move from left into centre. There was Christie inside the box just to push the ball past the goalkeeper. Swansea 2, Bournemouth 3 into 7 minutes of added on time.
Stoke 6, Rotherham 1 in the League Cup this evening. Ayew in his pink boots, little step over just outside the Plymouth box. Klein on the support on the outside. That's a good ball. Scars there, heads it away for Plymouth. Out into their right back position. Whittaker's gone all the way back there, takes a couple of touches, thumps it clear. That's turned into a really good ball, actually. Callum Wright collects it on the halfway line, turns away from Nathaniel Klein. Barley Mumba almost gets in his way. Wright picks the right pass, though. Here's Ben Waine. Scored that early goal for Plymouth in this one. Spins on the left, fancies a dip from Rage. Oh! Very nearly did a Luke Cundall. Sam Johnston flying to his left, tips it round the post. Plymouth 2, Palace 3. What's next?
Well, as he turned in, it was exactly that position, Ali, wasn't it, from the previous goal, and he struck it just as well almost. But this time, what a wonderful save from Sam Johnson to keep Plymouth out.
Wrexham 1, Bradford 1. Latest scoreline in the Carabao Cup tonight. Corner for Plymouth. Can they find themselves an equaliser? Ryan Hardy, centre forward, waiting to come on. As is Freddie Isaka, young Welsh striker, just 17 years old. Was Plymouth's youngest ever player when he made his debut a couple of years ago. Just past his 15th birthday. So these two are going to come on as well. Plymouth throwing absolutely everything at it. No extra time tonight. Why not? Trailing 3-2. Matt Butcher on the ball in midfield for Plymouth. Palace know the job isn't done just yet. Callum Wright plays it to Butcher. Butcher forward. Wright's continued his run. Lets it run behind his body. Stabs the ball to Mumba. Mumba drags it under the studs of his right boot. Two Palace defenders in front of him. Back to Butcher. Hits the shot. It's blocked. Falls to Wright. Wright tries to get a cross into the penalty area. Nathaniel Klein gets a foot on it. Wright looking to get in there again. Klein's there first. Mateta can't control it. Plymouth have it again and come back to Callum Burton. Palace are going to face some pressure, I think, Franny, late on in this game.
I wouldn't be surprised at all, and the home crowd can play their part in that as well. And the manager, Schumacher's making those changes. He's looking to bring the top goal scorer on. He scored 3 goals already so far this season. Ryan Hardy.
Yeah, here they come. Ben Waine on the right, low ball, might find Mumba. Oh, fabulous interception. Jefferson Lerma at the very last second slides in and saves Crystal Palace, because had he not got that touch, Mumba was there to strike on goal. Whittaker from the throw plays the 1-2 with Butcher for Plymouth. Back to Butcher it goes on the left hand side. Couple of touches, another cross comes in to the far post. It goes. Waine can't quite control it. I don't think he was expecting Mitchell to miss that. Another cross comes in. Richards clears it on the half volley. Eze controls it on his thigh, but he's easily tackled by Kessler Hayden. And Plymouth have it again on the halfway line, but you can sense the momentum inside the stadium, the belief inside the stadium here that Plymouth can get back into this game. Callum Wright could be the man to do it. Dribbling forward up towards the edge of the box, has given the ball away. Jordan Ayew is fouled, and that will give us a chance to check in on, was it Salford Leeds? Is that where we're going? Lee Blakeman.
Salford 1, Leeds 0. Another couple of chances have gone Leeds' way though. Strauch with a header straight at the keeper, and then Somerville bursting into the area left side with a shot deflected wide. Approaching the midway point of the second half. Salford 1, Leeds 0.
Freddie Ladapo has scored for Ipswich just before the hour mark at Reading, so Ipswich now lead that cup tie. Reading 1, Ipswich 2. Ben Waine comes off, Ryan Hardy comes on, and 17-year-old Freddie Isaka comes on for Lewis Warrington, who's been playing in central midfield. So we have a heck of a lot of attacking players out on the field for both teams actually at the moment, which bodes very well for the last 10 minutes or so of this commentary. Who knows, we could still be heading towards a penalty shootout. Plymouth 2, Palace 3. If you've not heard the story of the game tonight, Plymouth 2-0 up. Scored a wonderful second just after half-time. Roy Hodgson then making a triple change in the 55th and 56th minute. Ayew, Eze and Schlupp on, and Palace then scored 3 in the space of 4 minutes. Really well taken goals, but as Franny Benali has been saying in commentary on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as well, Plymouth sort of rocked and shocked as they went in so quickly, and I'm sure Stephen Schumacher will look at how they've conceded the goals, and
I mean, they were shell-shocked, weren't they, clearly, and it was brilliant from Crystal Palace, and exactly what Roy Hodgson would have wanted from those changes and substitutions he made. Stephen Schumacher didn't have time to really react and help by making a substitution or anything like that. It was just that quick, wasn't it? But completely turning the game on its head. But as you rightly say, Ali, I think there's still a lot more football and potentially goals left in this game.
Fulham 1, Tottenham 1. Commentary on that one continues on Sports Extra. US Open tennis from 10 o'clock on Sports Extra tonight here on 5 Live. We're with you all the way through until 10:30 with all the reaction and the talking points from the games, and if you miss any of that, it'll all be packaged up nicely for you in the Football Daily podcast, available via the BBC Sounds app every single morning. Free kick for Palace into the last 10 minutes. Eze sees an opportunity, rolls it into Edouard, drives it across the face of goal, palmed away by Burton, and Tompkins couldn't quite get on the end of it. Morgan Whittaker chases it into the right back position for Plymouth, drills a ball low up the middle of the pitch. Jordan Ayew is there to intercept for Palace. The game is very broken up at the moment, and Palace come back to Sam Johnston. Johnston strokes his pass out to the left, and Palace are just going to slow things down. They've got the lead, keep the ball, and Sam Johnston just jogging with the ball at his feet inside his penalty area. He's got Chris Richards to his left. Not going to use him. He's going to hit a diagonal ball from right to left out towards the left wing, and Kane Kessler-Hayden, so impressive in this game for Plymouth, clears it forward. Chris Richards with a decision to make. Plays a little pass to Lerma under pressure from Callum Wright. Good ball from Lerma forward to Ayew, and Palace bring it forward across the halfway line. Getting away from Azaz here is Ayew. Azaz sticks to his task, makes the tackle, and that'll be a throw-in for Plymouth.
Ayew and Eze, especially for Crystal Palace, have made a huge difference, haven't they, for this turnaround? Clearly difficult for Argyle to try and sort of steadied themselves as those goals are flying in, but yeah, it's a brilliant cup tie and wonderful game of football.
Freddie Osaka very nearly played a pinpoint pass through the Palace back line there. Here's Kessler-Hayden bringing it forward for Plymouth again, but Eze has robbed Butcher on the halfway line. Chance for Palace possibly to get their fourth. Chance for a Mateta hat-trick! He's got it! Jean-Philippe Mateta scores 3 for Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace look like they're heading through to the third round of the League Cup. Back from 2-0 down, they now lead Plymouth by 4 goals to 2.
And it was that match up again, and it was Eze, a mistake first from Plymouth Argyle, and they'll be kicking themselves about that. It was a sloppy ball, a little bit of a turn, trying to get turned in the middle of the pitch. Eze robs the ball, dribbles forward, then it's a cute little ball. It's only a little 4 or 5 yard pass, diagonal pass for Mateta, but he drives it into that near post past Burton. This game is, I would never have called this.
No,
the second goal,
didn't see it.
Second goal went in for Plymouth Argyle. Would never have seen this.
No, it's why we love our football. Full time at Swansea. Plymouth fans obviously not loving their football at the moment. Full time at Swansea. Aaron Paul.
Swansea 2, Bournemouth 3. At 90th minute, Ryan Christie's strike sends Bournemouth through to the third round after some uncomfortable moments. Swansea were brave throughout, but the Premier League side are through. Swansea 2, Bournemouth 3.
Mark Gahey's come on as a late sub for Crystal Palace here. They now lead 4-2. Another goal at Molineux. Charlie Slater.
83 on the clock. Wolves 5, Blackpool 0. Scored by the number 63, Nathan Fraser, 18 years old, on his debut, 8 yards out. Drives it into the ground and up over the top of the keeper. 5-0.
James Tompkins was the man to come off. Mark Gahey's come on for him. Jean-Philippe Mateta scored 2 goals for Crystal Palace in 32 appearances last season. He's got 3 goals in 1 game tonight. Yellow card dished out for, is that Mateta?
Mateta, yeah.
3 goals and a yellow card. So Mateta booked for a foul on Plague Swallow. Plymouth 2, Palace 4. As Franny Polani's just said, you wouldn't have called it when Kundal, right at the start of the second half, whipped that one into the top corner, and Plymouth were right on top at the start of the second half. It was the triple change and the Premier League class really from the players that came on that have told for Crystal Palace tonight. Here come Plymouth. Can they get back into it? Kessler-Hayden shot deflected behind for a corner goal at Hillsborough. Nas Premji.
Mansfield a level. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Mansfield Town 1. Reece Oates, he ran at the heart of the Wednesday back line and then angled a low drive past Cameron Dawson. We could be heading to penalties. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Mansfield 1.
Yeah, I was just going to have a look down the video printer to see how many of these games might be heading for penalties. Fulham Tottenham could be. Corner comes in. Mateta, the hat-trick hero, heads it straight up in the air. Scar nods it down. Richards is going to let that go behind for a goal kick. Commentary on Fulham Tottenham continues on Sports Extra. So Bolton 1, Middlesbrough 1 could be penalties. Exeter Stevenage is level. Newport Brentford, of course, still 0-0. Port Vale and Crewe are at 0-0. Sheffield Wednesday and Mansfield we know about. Portsmouth Peterborough at 1-1. Wrexham Bradford now 1-1. So plenty of penalty shootouts in the offing this evening. We'll keep you across it all here with you on 5 Live and BBC Sounds through until 10:30 when Colin Murray will take over, and with a 2-goal cushion now, I could see Plymouth scoring a third. I can't see him getting 2, Frank, but couldn't see Palace getting 4.
Well,
so.
That's true. That is very true, Ali. But seeing a few of the home supporters making their way for the exits, which is a real shame because it's been a wonderful atmosphere and a brilliant game of football. But this is cup football, isn't it? And it just goes to show how quick games can change at this level. And the players have made a difference as well. A bit of a masterstroke from Hodgson and the impact that those players have had when they came on.
Ball from Whittaker looking for Ryan Hardy through the middle, intercepted by Gahey. Here's Jordan Ayew. Does such good work for Crystal Palace wide on the right here, trying to hold off 2 Plymouth tacklers. Mumba wins the throw for Plymouth, immediately takes it. The ball is played back by Azaz to his goalkeeper Callum Burton. Newport Brentford, as I was saying, not too far from penalties. Chris Coles.
Oh, we might not be now, Ali. It's a late heartbreaker for Newport County. Brentford have scored. A bit of Premier League quality off the bench. Matthias Jensen slamming home from close range. And in the 88th minute, it's Newport 0, Brentford 1.
Yeah, Premier League quality off the bench. That's what we've seen here at Home Park. One of those players who came off the bench was Jordan Ayew, who created that goal for Odsonne Edouard with his driven cross to the far post. Thinks he should have had a free kick there, doesn't get the decision. Plymouth have got 3 minutes plus added time to try and find themselves 2 goals. Big game for them at home on Saturday ahead of the international break when they host Blackburn, because of course this will be 3 defeats in a row for them. Pass forward from Scar, intercepted. Palace could get another possibly, because Eze's in the mood. Dancing feet wide on the left. Kesler Hayden just sort of shakes his shoulders at him as if he's going to make the tackle. Eze's not falling for that one. Turns away from him. Turns away from Azaz. Too good for everyone here. Eze still going. Little flick pass into the path of Edouard. Mateta's in the middle. Could have got a 4th. They look for Eze instead. The cross is intercepted and it goes behind for a corner to Crystal Palace. Franny Benali.
Yeah, it's one of those games now that it's becoming very open, very stretched. Plymouth Argyle clearly trying to throw a few players forward and take a few more risks at this stage, being 2 goals behind, but Crystal Palace just having that quality, and especially when Eze gets on the ball. I mean, the ball was cut back towards him there, Ali, wasn't it? And it would have been a nice one in some ways for him to have scored a goal, because he's had such an impact since he's come on, been key to all the goals they've scored so far.
Fabulous player, key player, I mean the key player you'd say actually for Crystal Palace now, following the departure of Wilfred Zaha. The corner from Eze was looking for Mateta. It was read and intercepted. Here's the 17-year-old Isaka. That's a lovely ball to his left to Ryan Hardy. And Plymouth keep pouring forward here. Hardy bringing the ball into the edge of the box. Half a tackle from Lerma. Spins up in the air. Kesler Hayden tries to hit a very ambitious volley from 30 yards out. Maybe a tired effort, that one. And Azaz is now wrestling with Ayew. Ayew takes it off him. Little turn from Ayew on the halfway line. Doesn't want to be knocked off this ball. Holding on to it. And Kesler Hayden's had enough. Comes through the back of him. Little bit of afters as well. Crystal Palace will get the free kick. Just a little bit of frustration from the young man.
It's exactly that, isn't it, Ali? It's a bit of frustration. Saw some frustration in a shot he took on that was going wide and got deflected for a corner recently. But aggressive in his pressing there. He's had a very, very good game. And I think Plymouth Argyle, if they do end up losing this, which is heading that way, before we sort of know what we're going to get in added time, they've played very, very well today.
Edouard chases a ball through, which bounces on the edge of the Plymouth penalty area, but Burton is able to grab it just before he gets there. More Plymouth fans in front of us, letting the seats flip up behind them, and in a rather resigned fashion heading for the exits. But they'll be back on Saturday. John Akers, our producer tonight, who lives locally, was telling me you've got a real sort of buzz around the city of Plymouth at the moment. The football team is on its way back, very much so, in the Championship. Fabulous title win last season, seeing so many more Plymouth shirts, replica shirts around the city, the sense that sort of football club and city are as one, and we've definitely felt that this evening, despite the disappointment of this cup defeat. Credit to Crystal Palace for turning it around. We're heading towards added time here at Home Park. Still Fulham 1, Tottenham 1. Commentary of that one over on Sports Extra. That one's heading for penalties. 6 minutes of added time remaining here at Home Park, with Crystal Palace leading Plymouth by 4 goals to 2. Chris Richards plays back to Sam Johnston, the Palace keeper. He clears with his left foot. Eze lets that go beyond him. The ball bounces inside the Plymouth half. So 6 minutes to find 2 goals. Kesler Hayden down the right. Morgan Whittaker is fresh. Good runner with the ball as well. Can't quite find the pass. Ayew turns and tries to get Edouard away through the middle. Edouard takes the ball down, running into the penalty area. Kessler-Hayden gives him a nudge in the back. Edouard goes down. The challenge was in the penalty area and it's knocked him over, and that's one, Franny, where you've got to decide whether it's a sort of shoulder-to-shoulder 50-50 or has he just pushed him over?
Oh, well, he certainly, Edouard looked like he was away, didn't he? And he had that almost like half yard, certainly on the Argyle defenders tracking back, but from here in real time it looked like there was a little bit of a nudge that sent him to the ground, but it was not given by the referee and stays at 4-2.
I thought that could have possibly been a penalty. 5 minutes of added time remaining. Plymouth 2, Crystal Palace 4, a Jean-Philippe Mateta hat-trick in the second round of the Carabao Cup this evening. Right, goal at Salford. Now Salford were leading Leeds by a goal to nil. Lee Blakeman.
It's an equaliser for Leeds. Salford 1, Leeds 1. Greenwood with his first touch sent in the free kick. It fell to Pascal Strauch in the 6 yards area and he bundled it over the line in front of the away end to make it Salford 1, Leeds 1.
Yeah, those games going to finish a little bit later. Salford Leeds kicked off at 8, so did Reading Ipswich. Ipswich 2-1 up at Reading, and now Salford 1, Leeds 1. Eze's shirt's been tugged. He's been fouled. Free kick for Crystal Palace. It's about 10 yards inside the Plymouth half. Eze takes it. He's going to shoot. He's going to shoot from a long way out, trying to catch Callum Burton out, and it goes sailing over the crossbar and behind for a goal kick. John Southall's seen another goal at Kenilworth Road.
Well, this makes it interesting. Luton 3, Gillingham 2. Tom Nichols on as a substitute. He's just glanced a header off the post and into the bottom corner. 2 minutes to play. Gillingham are not done yet. Luton 3, Gillingham 2.
Okay, that's League 2 against Premier League. We've got that in our commentary game tomorrow night as well. Doncaster Rovers against Everton kicking off at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. More League Cup commentary coming for you. This game winding down a little. Palace with the 2-goal cushion. Plymouth have taken their throw. Played forward by Azaz. Isaka is challenged well by Gahey. Little back heel from Mateta. Edouard's got options here. Are you making a run to his right? Edouard to Eze. Oof. Whistling wide of the far post and behind for a goal kick. Full time at Tranmere, Betty Glover.
Tranmere 0, Leicester 2. It took a pretty uneventful first half and 4 changes after the break for Leicester to really get going. Wilfred Ndidi was the real difference, coming off the bench in the second half, opening the scoring with a half volley. He then turned provider, crossing the ball back to Vardy, who doubled their lead with a header, his first goal of the season. Tranmere had a few chances of their own, but they never really tested Leicester, who, by the way, have won every single game in August, topped the championship table, of course, and are now into the third round of the League Cup. Not a bad start, is it? A full-time, it's Tranmere 0, Leicester 2.
Full-time whistles blowing up and down the country. Plymouth 2, Crystal Palace 4. Mateta uses his strength to take the ball off Plegat-Suelo. This is inside the Palace half. Edouard rolls a pass to his left. Eze one-on-one with Kessler-Hayden, leaves the ball behind. The Plymouth fans enjoyed that. What's happening at Hillsborough, Naz Premji?
Full-time 1-1. We're heading to penalties. Musaba for Wednesday. Rees Oates' late strike gives the League 2 side hope. We're heading for spot kicks. 1-1.
Penalties going to be going on all over the place up and down the country over the next 15-20 minutes or so. So we'll keep you across everything that's happening. Crystal Palace about to make their way through the third round of the League Cup this season, and Plymouth, that stat will stretch just that little bit longer. Not got beyond the second round of this competition in the last 15 seasons. That will become 16 seasons. Here's Jefferson Lerma to Edouard. Edouard's left-footed shot is blocked and the ball spins up high in the air and goes behind for a corner. Goal at Bolton, Rob Law.
Yes, and it's Riley McGree for Middlesbrough in the 90th minute. 5 of stoppage time left to play. Bolton 1, Middlesbrough 2.
John has just pointed out something's flashed up on the BBC Sport website, social media feed. No surprise, I don't think this one. Erling Haaland has won the PFA Player of the Year award. Bukayo Saka, Young Player of the Year. Those are the two big award winners. I think we probably agree with those. Coming from you?
Yeah, not much to argue against that, I don't think.
Rachel Daly has won the PFA Women's Player of the Year award. Lauren James named as Young Player of the Year. So well done to everyone concerned. 1 minute remaining here at Home Park. 6 goals tonight. We've seen a fabulous game of football. Plymouth fans heading home disappointed. But their team played some wonderful stuff until Roy Hodgson made the triple change and turned this game around, and Jean-Philippe Mateta will head back to London with the match ball safely tucked underneath his arm. Nathaniel Klein with a throw to Ayew down by the byline. A couple of Plymouth players trying to get the ball off him. Azaz is one of them, pushing and shoving and barging, and Bali Mumba is now there to help out. Clears with his right foot up towards Isaka. Lovely touch from him to bring that down. Hardy's under pressure, back heels the ball out of play, but it came off a Palace player, so that will go out for a throw-in to Plymouth. Referee has a quick word to stop Jefferson Lerma wasting any time, but Plymouth are going to be beaten tonight. The referee has a look at his watch. It didn't look likely when Luke Cundall curled in that absolute stunner just after the half-time whistle, but full credit to Crystal Palace, Roy Hodgson and his team tonight, because on came the substitutes 10 minutes into the second half, and 3 goals in the space of 4 minutes completely turned it around. Mateta with the hat-trick, Odsonne Edouard with the other one. Crystal Palace go through to the third round. Some game of football tonight, Franny Benali.
Oh, we've had the pleasure of covering it and witnessing it and sharing it with everybody this evening, Ali. It was exactly that, a fantastic game of football, cup football, and just a typical reason and showing on how games can flip like that, completely on their head.
Yeah, if you can get down to Home Park this season to watch some football, do it. Great football, great atmosphere, really enjoyed it, but Crystal Palace go through. It's finished Plymouth 2, Palace 4. Kelly.
Thank you very much to Alistair Bruce Ball and to Francis Benali. For now, let's find out what's happening elsewhere, heading straight to Newport and Chris Coles.
A 97th minute equaliser from League 2 Newport County means we may well be heading to penalties after all. Kyvan Ray off the bench, powering his header home. We have a minute of stoppage time to play. It's Newport 1, Brentford 1.
Thank you very much for that, Chris Coles. Let's head to Wolves and Charlie Slater.
It's finished Wolves 5, Blackpool 0. As one-sided as it sounds, 2-2 for Sasha Kalajdzic. Scored the opener. Fabio Silva got the second. Then a Matt Doherty double meant his second debut at his boyhood club was a memorable one. All that before a debut goal for 18-year-old Nathan Fraser. Wolves' biggest win for 8 years. Wolves 5, Blackpool 0.
And we're heading to Craven Cottage and John Hunt,
where we'll have penalties as well between Fulham and Tottenham. It's finished 1-1 in the first half. Fulham went ahead. That was a Mickey van der Ven own goal for Spurs, and Richarlison equalised in the second half. James Maddison also on the pitch now. He was a late substitute, so Maddison, Son, Sarr, Kulusevski, they'll all fancy a penalty. It's finished 1-1.
Bolton 1, Middlesbrough 2. Well into added time there. There's been another goal. Which way has it gone, Rob Law?
Bolton 1, Middlesbrough 3. 2 goals in 2 minutes. The first from Riley McGree, a beautiful effort, curled past the goalkeeper from 20 yards, and then Morgan Rogers, joined from Manchester City in the summer, just scored his first goal in Middlesbrough colours to put Middlesbrough into the third round of the competition. Bolton 1, Middlesbrough 3.
It's Luton 3, Gillingham 2. They're into injury time there, and they're clinging on. Let's check in on what's happening at Luton with John Southall.
They are clinging on, Luton. There's about 20 seconds to play. Johnny Williams just hit one from 25 yards. Tim Krul flying to his left-hand side, tipped it round the post, and is that their last chance? Luton 3, Gillingham 2.
Mansfield have taken Sheffield Wednesday to penalties. They're underway. Naz Premji.
Penalties underway. A 1-1 so far. Bowery scored for Mansfield, Smith for Wednesday. It's George Maris who's stepping up, and he's having to re-spot the ball. This is Mansfield's second penalty. Remember, it was 1-1 in the tie. George Maris going to step up for Mansfield's second spot kick, and it is into the bottom corner, and on we go. It is penalties, and it's Mansfield 2-1 up currently.
And it was a slightly later kickoff, an 8 o'clock kickoff between Salford and Leeds United. That one might yet be going to penalties. Lee Blakeman.
Salford 1, Leeds 1. Leeds continue to boss possession, but Salford just nearly went back in front. Conor McLennan into the area, worked the ball onto his left foot, put in the shot. Well saved by Carl Darlow. Which way is this going to go, Alex Bruce?
Oh, God only knows. I mean, Leeds have had all the play, haven't they? They've had chance after chance, but Salford, the longer the game goes, they're getting a few half opportunities. They're breaking down the right-hand side again. Here comes to nothing, but great cup tie.
It's wide open. It's Salford 1, Leeds 1 with 6 minutes to go.
We'll keep an eye on everything that's happening there. Should there be a goal or should it go to penalties? We're across that with Lee Blakeman and with Alex Bruce. The full-time whistle has gone at Kenilworth Road, John Southall.
It has. Luton 3, Gillingham 2. Terrific second half. Luton 2 up at half-time, but Gillingham would not let it lie. Jaden Clark pulled one back 10 minutes after half-time. Nadson and Bond then both missed great chances to equalise, punished by Macaulay Woodrow, who curled in the third, but Tom Nichols 2 minutes from time made it 3-2. They had the chances in added time. Johnny Williams 25-yarder saved by Krul. Luton have their first win of the season. Luton 3, League 2, Gillingham 2.
And it's all over for Bolton as well, Rob Law.
It is indeed. Bolton 1, Middlesbrough 3. Bolton fought well, and it was League 1 side who took the lead in midway inside the first half through Dion Charles, but that lasted all of 10 minutes before Matt Crooks equalised for Michael Carrick's side. The game broke into life in this second half, and it was all Middlesbrough attacking the end with 3,000 travelling Borough fans. Goals from Riley McGree and Morgan Rogers inside the stoppage time that see Borough progress. Bolton 1, Middlesbrough 3.
Cup specialists Newport County of League 2 have taken Brentford of the Premier League to penalties. Chris Coles.
Yeah, what is it about competitions in Newport County, Kelly? They were down and out. Matthias Jensen, 87th minute, crashed home. It looked like that was that for Brentford, but Kaiban Rai off the bench for Newport, 97th minute, headed home, and we are heading to penalties. 1-1 at full time, penalties to follow.
Update on the penalties between Fulham and Tottenham with John Hunt.
Yeah, well, it's going to be taken in front of the Fulham support down the Hammersmith end. The other end, of course, over 7,000 Tottenham fans. Andreas Pereira is going to take the first penalty here for Fulham. It ended 1-1 at 90 minutes. The gigantic-looking Fraser Forster in goal for Tottenham. Pereira then will step up for this first penalty. Booed by the Spurs fans. Here goes Pereira. A delayed run-up, slots it home beautifully. Advantage is early for Fulham. Son stepping up next for Spurs.
We'll let you know how that one goes as well. Meantime, let's find out what's happening between Sheffield Wednesday and Mansfield with Naz Premji.
Will Swan's just missed the fourth penalty for Mansfield Town. It is 3-3. Will Volts to give Wednesday the advantage in the shootout. They've been 3 out of 3 so far, but then Will Swan with the fourth for Mansfield missed, and Will Volts' penalty's been saved excellently by Christy Pym, and on we go, Kelly. It's 3-3 in penalties, and they've missed one each.
Back to Craven Cottage. Son was taking the penalty. Which way did it go, John Hunt?
He's still to take it. All the Fulham fans putting him off. Son then against Rodak. Son steps up, scores. Only Jess. Rodak went the right way, but it's 1-1. No one's missed yet. Next one to step up will be Jimenez for Fulham.
Meantime, back to Sheffield Wednesday and Naz Premji.
Fifth penalty for Mansfield Town, going to be Rhys Oates, who scored off the bench, and this would give them a huge advantage. Remember, it's 3-3, fifth penalty, and it's into the bottom corner, and it will be pressure on for Wednesday with their final spot kick as the ball is retrieved by the goalkeeper Cameron Dawson. And it's going to be a Wednesday fifth penalty. Lee Gregory going to step up. Picks the ball up. This is to take us to 4 each. 4-3 to Mansfield currently. Gregory puts the ball on the spot. 2 or 3 steps back. Referee just making sure Christy Pym is on his line. If he misses, Wednesday are out. If he scores, we carry on. Into the top corner it goes. And it is 4-4. And we're now into sudden death.
And we're now going to Rodney Parade and Chris Coles,
where Brian and Burmo has just given Brentford the advantage after the first round of penalties. Newport went first. Left back Adam Lewis hit the inside of the post. Brian and Burmo has just stepped up. Brentford's main penalty taken now in the absence of Ivan Toney, and sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. So after one penalty each, it's 1-0 to Brentford.
Craven Cottage and John Hunt.
And nobody's missed yet. Fulham 2, Tottenham 2. Jimenez scored comfortably, and that was returned by Kulusevski for Tottenham. So Fulham's third penalty, second half substitute Harry Wilson now stepping up. Harry Wilson, oh, it hit the bar but went in the underside of the bar, and Fulham go 3-2 up. Nervy stuff, but it was just about good enough. And next up for Tottenham Hotspur will be Sanchez. 3-2 Fulham lead.
Next up for us, we're heading back to Naz Premji, who's watching Sheffield Wednesday Mansfield.
Aidan Flint scored his penalty. Liam Palmer stepping up. It's 5-4 to Mansfield in the shootout. Liam Palmer needs to score or Wednesday are out. Palmer steps up. It's saved by Christy Pym, and the cup set has happened. Mansfield Town have dumped Sheffield Wednesday out of the Carabao Cup at the second round stage, and the misery continues for Cisco Munoz. They've done it 5-4 on penalties, Kelly.
Mansfield Town have done it. Can Newport County do it? Rodney Parade and Chris Coles.
Oh, they're up against it now, Kelly, because Newport have missed their first two. Brentford have scored their first two. Here comes Newport's third. You feel this really has to go in to give them any chance of beating the Premier League side in this penalty shootout. Bryn Morris stands up for Newport. First two missed, the third is also missed. Ellery Balcombe makes a terrific save, low down to his right hand side, and Brentford now have a huge advantage, leading by 2 penalties to 0. Newport have missed 3, Brentford have scored their 2.
We'll let you know when that one is all over, but Mansfield already through to the next round. They've knocked out Sheffield Wednesday on penalties. It's an all Premier League encounter at Craven Cottage. It's also gone to penalties, and John Hunt's across it.
Advantage Fulham, because Sanchez missed his penalty, and then for Fulham, Paulinho scored his. So Fulham 4, Spurs 2. Maddison now steps up, and he has to score to keep Tottenham in the cup. Maddison then steps up and unerringly finds the bottom corner. Silences for the moment the Fulham crowd, but Fulham lead 4-3, and Kenny Tete in a few seconds time will step up and try and win the tie for Fulham.
John Hunt for now, thank you very much. Back to Rodney Parade, Chris Coles.
A very anticlimactic end to this match, Kelly, after such a dramatic finish after full time. Brentford have beaten Newport 3-0 on penalties. Keane Lewis Potter into the top corner. All very straightforward for the Premier League side on spot kicks. They're through.
We might well be coming to the final stages of the penalty shootout between Fulham and Tottenham. John Hunt.
Kenny Tete can put Fulham through then, up against Fraser Foster. Tete languidly moves forward, slides it home, and Fulham have beaten Tottenham 5-3 on penalties. Sanchez missed his penalty, but Fulham scored all 5 of those. It finished 1-1 after 90 minutes, and at last Fulham have beaten Tottenham here at Craven Cottage. Tottenham had won the last 7 encounters here in all competitions. The last 2 they met in the League Cup was back in 1999. Fulham won it in real time there, but they've gone to penalties. A perfect set of 5 for Fulham. Pereira, Jimenez, Wilson, Paulinho and Tete sends Fulham through and puts Tottenham Hotspur out.
And it might yet be going to penalties between Salford and Leeds if neither side can make the breakthrough in the remaining couple of minutes. Lee Blakeman.
Leeds are trying their best. We've got 5 minutes to go of the 8 that were added on. It is 1-1 between the two teams. Leeds have just gone close again. Rutter from close range. Brilliant save by Cairns to turn one of his shots around the post, Alex Bruce. Can you call what's going to happen here with just a few minutes to go of added on time?
Well, if anyone's going to get a chance, it's going to be Leeds. They've got a great one here again. It's been all Leeds, hasn't it? It's been chance after chance. Exactly what you want from a cup tie. Alex Cairns, from a Salford perspective, has had a wonderful game in the goal for Salford. But yeah, Leeds are piling on the pressure, trying to get a last-minute winner. Quick
corner from the left. Sinisterra has just seen his shot blocked. The ball goes to the Leeds left. They're piling on the pressure in front of the away end, but it's still Salford 1, Leeds 1.
Thank you very much for that. Remember, we'll keep you up to date with all the games that are still going on. Let's take a check on where we are at the moment. In the early kickoff, it was a 7:30 kickoff. Swansea City beaten by Bournemouth. That one is done and dusted. Birmingham City beaten 3-1 by Cardiff. As we've heard, Bolton beaten 3-1 by Middlesbrough. Norwich beat Bristol City 1-0. Exeter through on penalties against Stevenage. Fulham through on penalties against Tottenham. Luton Town, a narrow win for them, 3-2 at home to Gillingham. Brentford have beaten Newport County on penalties. Crystal Palace have gone through 4-2 against Plymouth, who were 2-0 up in that game. Port Vale have won on penalties against Crewe. Penalty shootout still going on between Portsmouth and Peterborough. Sheffield Wednesday are out. They've been knocked out by Mansfield on penalties. It's finished Stoke 6, Rotherham 1. Tranmere Rovers beaten 2-0 by Leicester. Wolves 5, Blackpool 0 in the most straightforward victory of the evening. Still in a penalty shootout between Wrexham and Bradford City. Wycombe have been beaten 1-0 by Sutton. The game's still ongoing between Reading and Ipswich. That is 2-2 at the moment and looks like that one is going to penalties. And they're playing out the final couple of minutes between Salford and Leeds, as we've been hearing. We will keep you updated on anything that is still to be decided in the EFL Cup's second round this evening. Let's head back to Salford. They're running out of time if there's going to be a winner in this one, Lee Blakeman.
So close to a winner though, Kelly. Salford 1, Leeds 1, Greenwood with a free kick, 25 yards out to the right of centre, up and over the wall, and Alex Bruce, it came crashing back off the crossbar. What an opportunity.
It was great technique from Sam Greenwood, wasn't it? He's whipped it over the wall to the top left hand corner. It's come crashing back off the crossbar, but it was a great free kick from him.
Now Salford have got one, level with the edge of the centre circle, right side. We've got 90 seconds of the 8 added minutes to play. Salford 1, Leeds 1. Matt Smith with a header on 34, putting Salford ahead, and then Strout with the equaliser, bundling home a Greenwood free kick on 76. Leeds have dominated possession, but haven't been able to make it count on the scoreboard. Salford free kick high, headed on, opportunity here. Leeds haven't dealt with it. Eventually they'll scramble it clear to the edge of the centre circle, and we'll play on with 1 minute to go now. Ball pumped back forwards by Salford to the edge of the area. Marcus Dacker's the substitute. Huge frame of a man is going to get there first. Plays in McElhenney, edge of the area left side. Good chance. Cross well blocked. Corner Alex Bruce.
Yeah, Salford have come up trying to put the pressure on at the end here now. They've got a corner. They need to try and make it count, but like you say, it's been all Leeds this second half. They've had chance after chance. They've scored one, they could have had many more, they just haven't managed to put the ball in the back of the net.
98th minute, Milan to take the corner from the Salford left. Leeds fans down the other end of the ground. 1-1, it gets pumped in, it's deep towards the far post, headed away by Leeds. Salford should pump this back forwards again. They do, it'll carry all the way through to the keeper, and it is indeed gathered by Carl Darlow. You have to give credit to Darlow's opposite number down the other end, who's been superb, Alex Cairns, to keep Salford in this.
Yeah, the ex-Leeds United goalkeeper, obviously Alex Cairns, he's had a wonderful evening. He's pulled off save after save, which, let's be fair, that they needed to do, because the amount of pressure that Leeds have put Salford, and the final whistle's gone there, but Leeds have been the better team, there's no doubt in that, but credit to Salford, they've defended the box as well as they can, and as you say, Alex Cairns has had a great game.
It's ended Salford 1, Leeds 1, so we're going to penalties. Just a quick word on Salford. Like you say, Leeds have just been brilliant going forwards. Nonto's looked excellent, but do Salford deserve this for the way they've defended at times? They've been superb.
Yeah, they have. They've defended the box well in a cup tie like this, being the League Two side. They've needed to, but they've been resolute with their defending. They've limited Leeds to chances, bearing in mind the possession that they've had. They've had all the possession on the evening, and it's penalty shootout now, so it could go either way.
Salford 1, Leeds 1, going to penalties, Kelly.
Thank you very much, Lee Blakeman, and Alex Bruce will keep us across what happens there. We, meanwhile, for the next nearly half an hour, are going to be reflecting on everything that's happening in the EFL Cup second round matches. We'll keep you up to date with any penalty shootouts that are taking place. We're going to check in first, though, with the BBC News headlines with Dan Maudsley.
This is 5 Live Sports with Kelly Cates.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Couple of penalty shootouts are over. Peterborough have knocked out Portsmouth. Bradford have knocked out Wrexham. It's gone to penalties between Reading and Ipswich. And a penalty has been saved in the shootout between Salford and Leeds United. Lee Blakeman.
Salford for the lead, and they do lead. Brilliant penalty by Ryan Watson. So Salford and Leeds have taken 3 penalties each, and Salford lead by 3 goals to 2. It was a poor Rutter penalty that was saved by Cairns.
That's an understatement. It was really poor. He kind of daisied it right down the middle of the pit, right down the middle of the goal. An easy save for Alex Cairns. He didn't strike it well at all. So it's 3-2 to Salford. And who's this? It's Nonto.
It is
Nonto. Nonto's taken the next one. He's been the outstanding player on the pitch tonight as well, hasn't he?
They're being taken at the opposite end of the ground. 3 each. Salford lead 3-2. At the Salford end, this up steps Nonto, and he drills it in. A few going for power tonight.
Yeah, it was a well-struck penalty, powered it to the left of the goalkeeper, who had absolutely no chance there. Well-struck pen.
So it's 3-3, but Salford with an extra penalty to take. Marcus Dackers, the substitute, to come forward and take this. Are you putting your hand up, Alex Bruce, in a situation like this?
I've done it once before and missed, so definitely not.
Let's see what Marcus Dackers does. Here we go. BBC Radio 5 Live, second round of the League Cup. 3-3, but Salford with an extra penalty to take here. Dackers, short run up, one step, drills it in. It's 4-3, and Leeds know they have to score.
They have to score. What a well-taken penalty that was. One step. I didn't fancy his run-up, but he slotted it away nicely.
And next, it is Sinistera. Penny for your thoughts. He could have had a couple tonight in normal time, Sinistera. So too could Nonto. Leeds have been excellent, but Salford deserve this for the battle and the fight that they have shown. Sinistera has to score.
Can Alex Cairns be the hero? He's had an outstanding evening so far. This will cap it off nicely.
It's Luis Sinistera to keep Leeds United in the League Cup, and it's into the bottom corner. Any less power than that, and Cairns might have had it.
Yeah, he guessed the right way. He dived just a little bit slow, and it just went past him. Too much pace on the ball.
So one more penalty to go before we go to sudden death. Salford have scored all 4 of theirs. Leeds scoring 4 of their 5. As up steps for Salford, Connor McLennan. The responsibility on his shoulders to fire Salford further than they've ever been in this competition in their history. It's Connor McLennan for Salford. He's walking back to the 18 yards line, hands on his hips. It's going to be a long run up. This to send Salford through. It's McLennan, and he's hit the crossbar. I don't believe it. He's hit it with so much power, it's actually ended up back in the centre circle. We play on.
Wow, he rattled right down the middle of the crossbar, didn't he? He couldn't have struck it any better, but it's cannon back off the crossbar. And we're back to sudden death.
And it's Hjelde to step up next for Leeds. What are you thinking if you're a Salford player on that line now?
Well, you've just got to hope that he misses now, haven't you, obviously, but it's that was a huge opportunity, obviously, to send Salford through. That'll be gutted.
Big opportunity, missed that. And now, with it 4-4 after 5 each, it's Hjelde to put Leeds in front of the shootout for the very first time. Back to the 18 yards line, lining it up on his left foot, and into the bottom corner it goes. And now Salford have to score to stay in.
And it's Matty Lundu stepping up. He'll be wanting to put right what he, towards the end of last season, he missed a vital penalty for them in the playoff semi-final at Stockport the last time he took one, so he's going to feel the pressure here.
Up steps Lund, who came on as a substitute earlier on, just taking his time. I can never work out if taking your time when you're preparing for this is a good thing or not. I think I'll be sprinting on that.
Well, he's an experienced player. He's walking up nice and composed.
Matthew Lund.
Big penalty for him.
Walking back. Lines it up on his right foot, and in it goes. We play on, and at this rate, Alex Bruce, we could be here till Christmas.
We could be here all night. Carl Darlow actually got a hand to that as well. He was very unlucky, but it had a bit too much power, and it found its way into the top left-hand corner. Good penalty.
It is 5-5 after 6 penalties each. BBC Radio 5 live from the Peninsula Stadium. It's going to be Charlie Cresswell to step up next for Leeds United. Big centre half, rock at the back. He has been tonight. Now can he be just as assertive down the other end of the field?
Yeah, he's had a good evening tonight. He's played well, so he'll be wanting to put this away.
Cresswell with a very short one-step run up to put Leeds back in front in the shootout, and in it goes, hit like a proper centre half. Alex Bruce,
he got some power behind that, didn't he? He didn't have a long run up. He was only one step, but he got a lot of power behind it and smashed it right down the middle of the goal.
So now it is 6-5. Salford to take next, and it's Luke Bolton, who has been an absolute powerhouse down the Salford right tonight.
He has. He's shown so much pace tonight. He's been a real problem for Leeds on that right side. He's had a really good game.
Leeds 6-5 ahead. Bolton has to score this for Salford. Here he comes. It's Luke Bolton, and in it goes again. We play on, and that is 6-6 after 7. I'm running out of paper.
I'm pleased you're writing this down.
I'll be honest with you, I'd allowed for 10 each. We're currently 7 taken each.
Ethan Ampadu next.
6-6. It is indeed Ethan Ampadu who's coming forwards. And very, very shortly, Alex Bruce, if we're not careful, will be with the goalkeepers Alex Cairns and Carl Darlow. Ethan Ampadu next up. Again, these being taken in front of the Salford fans. Loads have gathered in front of us too. Level with the edge of the penalty area we are, where these penalties are being taken from. Ampadu for Leeds United, with the shootout level at 6-6. Up steps Ampadu, and it wasn't a great penalty. It was down the middle, it was side-footed, but in it went.
Wasn't a good penalty at all, was it? He got away with one there. Alex Cairns was a little bit slow to react.
Adrian Mariappa next to keep Salford in it. Can I ask the obvious question to a professional footballer? What is a good penalty apart from one that goes in?
You took the words out of my mouth. I was just saying any penalty as long as it goes in. We've seen some good ones tonight though.
Experienced centre half now, wearing shirt number 5, Adrian Mariappa. Again, he has to score. Salford have been excellent in this game tonight. Mariappa, in it goes again. And still we play on 7-7 after 8 penalties each.
Used all his experience there. Adrian Mariappa, a lovely penalty. I think it's one of his first starts tonight. He's had a really, really good game, so he's capped his performance off nicely there with a lovely penalty. Somerville up next for Leeds,
who could have had a hat-trick in normal time, it has to be said.
Yeah, him and Nonto were a real threat for Leeds on the night.
Nonto's been feeding Somerville, got on the end of so many opportunities, either thwarted by Cairns or his efforts were off target, and now Crescencio Somerville to once again put Leeds back in front. He's standing square on here, then a little shuffle to the left, up steps Somerville. Great penalty, keeper went the right way, but because of the power had no chance of keeping that one out.
Curtis Tilt next for Salford,
with the scoreline at 8-7 to Leeds. Tilt has to score. At the reminder, Salford made it through to the second round, having won a penalty shootout at Championship side Preston 3 weeks ago. Penalties were clinical that night at Deepdale, and so far both teams doing well here, but the pressure really on Curtis Tilt. Left foot, has to score for Salford City, and does as well. At this rate, we're not going to have Colin Murray on at all.
I think Carl Darlow was really close to that as well. You saw the Leeds United players' reaction in the centre circle. They thought he had it.
8-all after... Well, I'm losing count here, blimey Alex. After 9 penalties each. And it's Leeds United to take next. It's going to be Jamie Shackleton.
It's not going to go down to the goalkeepers, is it, surely?
It may well do. If these go in, we'll wait and see. Cairns and Darlow, a penny for your thoughts. Shackleton, the last outfield Leeds player to take. Up steps Shackleton, it's the crossbar! Shackleton, side foot, off the underside of the bar. And now Salford, through Osama Ashley, have their second chance to win it.
They've got another lifeline. He needs to put it away to obviously send Salford into the next round. Big penalty for him. He's had a really good night. One of Salford's best players actually in the central midfield area. He's put a right shift in.
Conor McLennan had the chance to win it for Salford earlier on, couldn't quite do so, and what happens now is if Osama Ashley scores this, Salford are through to the third round of the League Cup for the first time in their history. If he doesn't, then we go to the goalkeepers. Referee Ollie Langford makes sure the ball is on the spot. It's Osama Ashley to send League 2 Salford City through to the third round, and the keeper saved it!
I think he's going to get him to take it again. Carl Darlow was so far off his line.
Yeah, he saved it with his trailing legs.
He's booking him as well.
And it's a yellow card.
It's the right call from the referee. He must have been 2 yards off his line by the time he finished saving that penalty.
Big call here, but the right call, Alex Bruce.
Yeah, big call, but I definitely think the referee got it right.
Darlow dropped to his left. He was away off his line, saved it with his trailing legs, and now Osama Ashley gets a second opportunity to send Salford City through. This Salford's third in total in the shootout.
Third time lucky.
Mind games here, Osama Ashley. What do you do? Same again. Do you go more powerful this time to win it for Salford? Osama Ashley, right-footed, drills it in! And Salford City City are through to the third round of the League Cup for the very first time, winning an epic penalty shootout. Salford fans go sprinting onto the pitch. What a performance by Neil Wood's team, Alex.
Yeah, fantastic performance. They've hung in, they've had to, because listen, Leeds were the better team on the night, weren't they? But they defended their box really well. They took their chance through Matt Smith when they needed to. Leeds have been a little bit unfortunate, but Salford have got the job done in the penalty shootout.
Superb bottle. Osama Ashley. Salford win on penalties at the Peninsula Stadium to knock Leeds United out of the League Cup. Kelly Cates.
Extraordinary game in which Leeds United, according to the BBC Sport website, had 71% possession, 33 shots, 9 of them on target. They had 16 corners. It finished all square at 1-1 after 90 minutes. It goes to penalties, and finally, eventually, after an incredibly long penalty shootout, only just missed out on goalkeepers taking them, 9-8 to Salford on penalties. Lee, it's a game that Leeds should have won in 90 minutes. But just incredible for Salford.
They should have been about 4 or 5 up, Kelly, after 45 minutes. They were so dominant throughout the game. Willie Nonto will walk back into the dressing room thinking, what on earth did I have to do tonight? The same with Crysencio Somerville. So many outstanding performances in the Leeds United team. But it has to be said, the way Salford dug in, the way they defended, they put their bodies on the line time and time again. Last ditch, they were absolutely superb. A credit to the football club, Alex.
Yeah, they were. They did exactly what you would want from your players. They were up against it, but they held a low block. They defended, went with their lives. Alex Cairns in the goal had a fantastic game. Pulled save after save off. And they've got the job done in the end. There's fans on the pitch and everything here. Great scenes.
So Salford are through to the next round of the EFL Cup, having beaten Leeds on penalties. The players have had to come off the pitch because a lot of the fans have made their way on in the excitement of that penalty shootout, and of course the famous faces in parts of the ownership group of Salford. Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt, Roy Keane is there, Gary Neville is there on television duty, but the fans now making their way off the pitch at Salford, and hopefully the players are going to be able to come out and give some kind of lap of honour. But we'll come back with Lee and Alex very shortly. Headlines elsewhere: Crystal Palace avoided a slip-up at Plymouth. Jean-Philippe Mateta was Hodgson's hat-trick hero. Wolves found their scoring boots at home to Blackpool. It was penalties galore as League Two Mansfield knocked out Sheffield Wednesday, the Championship, and huge drama as Salford of League Two booked a place in the third round. They beat Leeds United of the Championship. So lots to get through. Joining me to dissect it all, former Southampton fullback Francis Benali, ex-Fulham and Liverpool midfielder Ray Houghton, former Leeds defender Alex Bruce. But we're going to start at Home Park, where Plymouth were beaten 4-2 by Crystal Palace. Alistair Bruce will watch this one alongside Francis Benali. Ali, Roy Hodgson made the changes that made the difference, because this was in Plymouth's hands.
It was. I have to say, Kelly, first and foremost, this was an absolutely thrilling cup tie, played in front of a full house at Home Park, cracking atmosphere, and as a night out watching football, it was a real treat. And as you say, until the 55th minute of the game, it looked like Plymouth were comfortably and deservedly going through. They led 2-0 at that point. They got an early goal from Ben Waine. Stephen Schumacher actually made 9 changes to his team. It didn't look like it. They played brilliantly. And then a stunning curler from Luke Cundall, young man on loan from Wolves, straight after the restart, almost lifted the roof off Home Park. Crystal Palace looked out of it at that point, but wily old Roy Hodgson had a trick or two up his sleeve, namely some real Premier League quality coming off the bench. So on came Eze, on came Ayew, and on came Jeffrey Schlupp. And quite simply, Plymouth didn't know what had hit them. Well, I'll tell you what hit them. 3 goals in 4 minutes hit them. 1 from Odsonne Edouard, 2 from Jean-Philippe Mateta, who was then able to go on and get his hat-trick. But it was remarkable, really, Kelly, to see how quickly that class turned the game around for Palace. I think helped a little bit by some Plymouth defending that looked just a little bit like sort of rabbits in the headlights as the onslaught really came at them. Plymouth fans in the end headed home dejected, a 3rd defeat in a row for them. But from what I saw tonight, this is a team that's really going places, played some great football, and had a fantastic backing behind them. Palace go through, but Plymouth were great.
Yeah, Plymouth with a really good performance, Franny. Palace, though, go through to the next round. And the introduction, particularly of Eze, when they made that triple substitution, when Ayew and Schlupp came in as well at 2-0 down, made all the difference.
Yeah, it was just that little bit of class that they brought to those changes, Kelly. It was, up until that point, Plymouth Argyle were outstanding, as Ali was just saying, and the goal from Luke Cundall was just brilliant. Honestly, it's a goal that everyone should try and see. But having said that, Palace did their thing. Roy Hodgson made those 3 changes, and within a literally matter of minutes, those goals, Argyle were just on the ropes, shell-shocked by how quickly they conceded a few of them. And Ali again touched on some of the questionable defending. I think they'll look back at that and analyse the goals. And Stephen Schumacher will be so frustrated because he's had 2 championship football games, one against Birmingham City where they conceded late on, one against Southampton here at Home Park where they conceded late on. And I think he said in his pre-match notes himself, he doesn't want to be the best team that comes away without winning anything. So there's loads of positives again to take from tonight. There will be that initial disappointment going out of the cup competition like they have done tonight, but so many good things that we've seen here tonight.
Francis Benali there and Alistair Bruce Ball bringing us right up to date with what happened in that game. And afterwards, Roy Hodgson spoke to John Akers.
Roy, congratulations. Inspired substitutions, I think they call that, don't they?
Well, it's quite easy to make them, wasn't it? Because, obviously we were hoping to give these players a longer rest, with a view to the game camp on Sunday, but the opponents were so good, and of course there's so many problems that we felt that we needed to do something about it. And of course, when we did bring on the 4 players who were more often in the first team, it did make a big difference. And I thought the team did extremely well to come back from that second goal. At half-time, we hadn't played well in the first half. I thought that Plymouth played extremely well, and they fully deserved their 1-0 lead. But I thought that, if we got ourselves going in the second half, we could peg that 1 goal back. But suddenly, after 1 minute, it was 2-0. And that's where I think the players have done extremely well today, because I don't care who you're playing against, it's hard to come back from 2-0. And if you're playing against a team of this quality, because they really impressed me, Plymouth, I thought they were really very, very good to come back and win it. And I thought it was an excellent game of football, I really do. I thought the intensity, the pace, the level of quality on the field. The 15,000 here have been treated to a top-class game tonight.
In the only all-Premier League tie, Fulham beat Tottenham 5-3 on penalties. Ray Houghton watched this one, as did our commentator John Hunt. And this one we can't call an upset, John.
Well, Spurs were favourites at the end of the day. Kelly, I've been known to look at the odds from time to time, and Spurs were definitely favourites. But of course, Fulham, who had been beaten by Crawley 12 months ago, had a much happier night tonight. Finished 1-1, of course, after 90 minutes. Mickey van der Ven with an own goal had given Fulham the half-time lead. He was a little bit unlucky. He just didn't really see what happened. It glanced in off his ankle. But that was that. And then Richarlison equalised in a pretty even second half. Chances were few and far between. I think it's fair to say Fulham had the best of them. Then we went to penalties. Pereira, Jimenez, Wilson, Paulinho and Tete all scored for Fulham. Sanchez missed for Spurs, and that was that. Ange Postecoglou tasting defeat for the first time as Tottenham boss.
Tasting defeat for the first time, and Ray, a performance that Spurs fans haven't been expecting under Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, they didn't perform particularly well in the first 30 minutes of the game. Don't forget, Kelly, he made 9 changes from the team that won at the weekend against Bournemouth. So I don't think they were all up to speed together in the opening 30 minutes. After that, I think they settled down. They started to control the game. The one thing I think he'll be looking at is they don't look like they're going to score an awful lot of goals with the players that were on. Difference when you've got Son in the starting 11, Kulusevski, Maddison, who can open up any defence, and they look more threatening when them players come on. But as John just said there, the best chances fell to Fulham in the second half, where Harry Wilson went through twice and really should have done better. De Cordova-Reid had an open goal and he fluffed his lines where he should have really just hit the target and went well wide of the target. Overall, I think Ange will be disappointed that he's gone out of a cup competition. They're not in too many this season. You've only got 38 games. He's trying to get a group of players that are really focused for the season ahead. I know the Tottenham supporters will be disappointed that they're out of the cup itself. So there's big question marks along the way. But what he'll look at is he's played 3 league games. They've got 7 points, and he's got a lot to work with.
And Fulham have got Manchester City at the weekend, so it's going to be a tough weekend for them. But this week, with coming back to get the draw against Arsenal, when they go through against Tottenham in the EFL Cup, it's been as good preparation as they could probably get.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough week for them, isn't it? It's been a tough start to the season. They went to Everton, got a win, they lost to Brentford and got that the draw against Arsenal at the weekend. So it's not been a bad start for Fulham. One of the problems they might have is strength and depth, that quality. They had a few players that had to come off tonight, which will be a slight concern for Marco Silva. But overall, I really like their attitude. I think that's one of the aspects of why they might have a good season, and I think they'll be well clear of the relegation zone, because there's an attitude about them, there's a commitment about them, there's a togetherness about them, and I think that was shown on Saturday against Arsenal, and I think even more so tonight against Tottenham. When Tottenham put it on to them, they stood firm, and they've got some top quality players in certain positions, and I'm sure the manager would be delighted with what he's seen. He would just like, before that window closes, to have one or two more additions just to help him out when it comes to scoring goals and being a little bit more creative.
Ray and John, good to talk to you both. Thank you very much for joining us. It also took penalties for League 2 Salford to knock out Leeds United of the Championship. Alex Bruce is at the Peninsula Stadium, where there's going to be a huge party, you'd imagine. Do you know anyone who can get you in, Alex?
My brother-in-law, Matt, the goal scorer, might be able
Exactly.
to. But I think he's actually just getting his lips stitched, Kelly, because he had a bit of a nasty whack with 10 minutes to go. I'm trying to get him on for you, but I'm just waiting to hear back. But no, they're all ecstatic tonight, as you can imagine. I think it's the furthest Salford have been in the League Cup, so they'll all be delighted, and they dug in deep. They put in a really good performance. Leeds will be a little bit aggrieved because they were the better team on the night. They just weren't clinical in front of goal, or as clinical as they should be, which they'll be disappointed about.
It is, as you say, the first time they've been into the third round of this competition, and to go through on penalties, but also to take the lead and to hold on to it for so long. And as much as Leeds had the lion's share of possession, they had many more shots than Salford managed. How resolute a performance was it from Salford?
Well, they had three centre-halves. They had the experience of Adrian Mariappa at the back, who put in a really, really good performance, like his other centre-half partners, and the goalkeeper, Alex Cairns, as we touched upon in commentary. He had an outstanding night. Whenever Leeds tested him, he came up with the goods. So yeah, it was from a defensive point of view. I'm sure Neil Wood, the Salford manager, will be delighted with how his team defended.
Alex, I think Matt Smith, who scored the opening goal and is of course your brother-in-law, has joined you at the point. Matt, are you there? And Alex said you've got a problem with your lip. Are you okay to talk?
I'm okay. Well, I'm probably going to go to hospital after this, but if it wasn't my brother, I wouldn't come on, let's put it that
way. But also the adrenaline must be racing through your veins as well after that penalty shootout that felt like it was never going to end.
I know, I was just on my Twitter feed inside or listening to the shouts, so I was trying to keep up, but now just delighted to see the boys do the job and finish what was a brilliant evening.
They finished the job that you started by putting Salford 1-0 up in the game. Just talk us through that, Matt.
Hey, it was a great delivery from Luke Garber. We know he's got that quality on his left foot, so just tried to anticipate where the ball was going to go and met it well. I didn't quite see how it landed in the net, but no, I was just delighted to see it go in and obviously give us that little foothold in the game. Obviously we rode our luck at times. Played a full strength team more or less, but I thought we handled the occasion very, very well, and in my opinion justly go through.
Is that because of the way that you kind of organised yourself to deal with that threat from Leeds? We were just running through with Alex there the sort of possession stats of 71%, the number of shots that Leeds had, the number of shots they had on target. But do you feel that you as Salford did your job properly and made it really difficult for them to make that breakthrough?
Yeah, well, it was always going to be tough. You have to look at the quality of the team, the quality of the squad, the manager. They just come down for the Premier League. We had to really be at our best tonight and really disciplined in all areas, and we probably needed them to have an off night in front of goal, which I think they probably did. They squandered a few chances, and we rode the storm at times. But that's what you've got to do when you've got a big team like Leeds come to your home patch. You've got to ride the storm, and to a man I thought we were gritty and showed that bit of nous that we needed.
So Matt, there's going to be some kind of celebration, I would imagine, but you're going to be spending the beginning of it at least in hospital, is that right?
Yeah, I'll be off to A&E. I'm not sure what they're going to try and do because the lip's just totally split in half, but we'll see.
All right, Matt, well I hope... Hello? Did somebody say Kelly on the line? Nope, doesn't matter. It's coming from somewhere else. Matt, listen, congratulations. Go and enjoy it. I hope you have a great night once you've got yourself out of A&E, and I hope you make a speedy recovery. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Matt Smith there, the goal scorer for Salford in 90 minutes, and then Salford through on a penalty shootout. Thank you as well to Alex Bruce there and Lee Blakeman, part of our commentary team. And there's more EFL Cup action tomorrow night. Steve Crossman is here with commentary of Doncaster Rovers against Everton and updates from all the other games and the goals as they go in. Thank you very much to Alex Bruce, to Francis Benali, to Ray Houghton and all our reporters and commentators. Next up, it's Colin Murray. Hello, Colin. I do love the cups, Colin.
Hold on a second. I forgot I was on air. Do you ever do that? You're enjoying the show so much. I was loving your interview.
Well, do you know what happened? Did you hear at the end? I bet it was you eating that was coming down my headphones. Where I was like, somebody's saying my name. I don't know what it was.
He could talk well, couldn't he, with his split lip?
I was really concerned when Alex said he was going to drag him over. I was like, are you sure he shouldn't be seeing some kind of medical professional? But he's made of tougher stuff than that.
I love it. And listen, sports fans, stay tuned, because our Q&A tonight, where you ask all the questions, 11 o'clock, is with boxing trainer Joe Gallagher. It's going to be amazing. Kel, thank you so much.
Good night. Thank you.
Love it. Here's Shabnam Yunus Jewel with the news.